Here we go. Ready?
There, ready. You got the ready in there. But thank you
Oh,
all
did I?
for for joining us on a nightly edition of this wonderful book club in the snowy, the halfway between Scotland and Lake Worth, Florida. Snow
Maybe
just
it's in
half.
Greenland. Maybe we own Greenland.
Yeah, yeah. You never. I mean, maybe it's like some indescript place over here, but it's. I want to say I would ever after what like the our last long out of Kitteridge.
hmm
Kind of want to be in Maine, like Maine.
We could be a Maine.
Yeah, it changes.
That's probably halfway.
Yeah, that works. So, but yes, we are a little later, but better for people on the East Coast. We usually
hmm
go the noon, which kind of caters to the UK crowd.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
but
Or the people with the ability to listen in the afternoon at work.
yeah, which
Um.
which happens. But yeah, we are. It's late over there in Scotland. Not
Mm,
almost only it's about 9 o'clock, heading into 9 o'clock
but
here on the East Coast.
it's nearly 2 a.m.
Nearly 2 a.m. on the button.
hmm
So we are have our usual stories, short and long, very
hmm
descriptive stories this time. We were going to be doing this last week, but we had some stuff going on. My daughter had a performance, and we had a birthday
Had a
party,
birthday tea.
birthday tea. So we tried to.
hmm
Sometimes we try to make it happen, but I think we were a little too ambitious.
We're
Tried.
also not meeting next week because I'm going to be bawling my eyes out to my favorite live band.
Yep. Yep. So so we're gonna be doing this now, and maybe have
hmm
some movie company at the end. We'll see how it goes because I don't
hmm
have. Usually, I have to go to I have work after this. Well, when we do it earlier, I have to kind of rush out. We have some time constraints, but we don't now, so it's cool.
Let's
And
go.
so, but let's talk about the short.
Tennessee Williams.
I love Tennessee Williams.
Well, this is our third time doing Tennessee Williams,
Oh my, yeah,
actually.
you're right. We did a whole. We did Streetcar Named Desire. That was a whole read. We just did that was a
Yeah.
whole episode on just on that. And we did the room, or
Yes. Yeah, I think
was it just called the
we
room?
did. Or the dark room.
The
Was
dark
that?
room, yeah, the dark room.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is I think our 24th uh book club, I think.
Yeah, oh, that's
And um yeah, we're doing Tennessee Williams for the third time. So I will, say what I said about him before, but maybe some of you weren't here for that, so hope it's okay to go over stuff. Tennessee Williams was born Thomas Lanier Williams III in 1911 in Columbus, Mississippi. He had a distant father and a mother who struggled with mental health issues. So he didn't get a lot of not love, but like he wasn't the main event as a kid.
mm,
Um he only gained success at 33. Like he was trying to become a writer before that, but at 33 he wrote The Glass Menagerie. And of all the people I think that we've read, he has like the most work that's been adapted to cinema.
mm,
Uh
mm-hmm,
his father considered him weak because he nearly died in childhood and had illnesses, and he was effeminate, which is not surprising.
mm.
His father was a shoe salesman. I think this might have been our first shoe salesman, but there were other fathers who were shoe salesmen.
Yeah,
Um, he was a heavy drinker and prone to loud, turbulent behavior. So you have this like Tennessee Williams is this like quiet, effeminate boy who's ill quite a lot, and he's got this like really loud, angry, drunk dad. Um, but uh, when Tennessee Williams was working so hard to be a writer, he actually had a breakdown, a nervous breakdown. And he was working in a factory at the time and he had to leave his job. But all of the like life experiences that he had up until that point are very apparent through his work. Like you can see that in all
Yeah.
of his work, how his
Yeah.
characters
It
are
reflected.
written. Yeah,
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
reflect his life up until that point. He had really great success in the 40s and 50s. That's when a lot of his stuff was like his plays were being being
Adapted
performed and
to the
stuff like
stage.
that.
Yeah.
Yep, and then adapted to film.
Hmm.
But then the 60s and 70s, he had quite a lot of failure because he was depressed over the death of his long-term partner.
Mm.
So, he didn't have like smooth sailing all the way through.
Yeah. And I always thought of Tennessee Williams as a writer who was also exploring subject matter that was not always at the forefront of consciousness, for social consciousness. He was talking about homosexuality, toxic
Hmm.
masculinity, um, uh, feminizing, the femininity. Also having family members that were um, disabled, mental
Hmm.
health.
Yeah,
So
his sister had problems with mental health as well.
yeah, so he would be right. He had like, and also he's getting, because he has a family member who has struggled with, I don't know if I'm not sure if it was schizophrenia or like a somebody some kind of mental health. Well, mental health was back then. It was almost like a death sentence.
Hmm.
If you even like a lot of times they would hide it because they don't want to have to. If it gets public, then the person would have to
Well,
go to like a mental asylum or
yeah, and asylums were rough
oh yeah, they were not.
originally.
Yeah, they were not there to. They were not very helpful, like prisons. So it's and I see like, so you're getting like mental, like the lens of like a sneak peek of how mental health was viewed back then in the stories. And I guess
Hmm.
there wasn't really a lot of people, I mean, who were doing it like as someone like him who has a platform and
Yeah.
was writing about it extensively. It was, I know that
And I think a lot of the characters that he wrote who did have mental health issues were quite um sympathetic. It wasn't
yeah,
like he was writing about them as monsters.
no, no,
He was
yeah,
definitely sympathetic to them in his treatment.
yeah, yeah. Even in the dark room, how
Hmm.
we see it's almost the information was in the unsaid. A lot of these
Hmm.
characters they had lovers, they had problems, they were just dealing with society, the stigmas. So I
Hmm.
just thought it was, what a great snapshot of like how to deal with someone like him who is coming to terms with sexuality, where
Hmm.
being the way he was could have easily gotten killed. Or I'm
Yep.
not sure if there were any like sodomy laws and things like that back then. And
There would have been for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So and it's great that someone who has a name like as big as Tennessee Williams, like he was, and he put that stuff out there, and I'm sure
Hmm.
had a big influence on people just to see that,
Yeah, for sure.
um, to put it into his plays, and putting into, I mean, if you look at Streetcar Named Desire, you have someone who is going through, like someone who has PTSD. This
Hmm.
Le, what's her name? LeBlanche.
Blanche.
Blanche had, I mean, a multitude of illness. There was some mental health
Yeah.
stuff going on. It was her
Her
love of her
her
life. With
husband
her
and her
husband
husband's
was gay. Yeah,
gay.
and
Yeah.
then like have to do like understanding that having a man who was that you thought was in love with you, but then he was gay, and like how like that was those kind of topics don't really get talked about. So like pushed under the
No.
rug. So it's great that he we're learning about all these things, and I feel like with this story, the alcove, the angel in the alcove, you're getting that too, and you made some, and I'm sure when we go through it all, you'll mention there's a lot of commonalities in the
Mhm.
characters.
Mhm.
We're almost seeing the protagonist echoing some of maybe it could have been a Tennessee Williams himself, which I think is probably true.
Yeah.
But without going into too much, we should probably start going to the story. The story is called
Yep.
the Angel in the
They-
Alcove, and it starts off with this very directly in scene, and it stays in scene
Uh,
throughout the story. And but it's a great this the way he could paint these vivid pictures, and then like everybody else is you're getting this is New Orleans during a
mhm.
time I'm not sure what year, but this
I don't know, but it's you
it
know, kind of the heyday of New
yeah,
Orleans, I think.
yeah, and with the seediness included. So
Yeah.
Shiny, where are we? How do we start off this
Well,
story?
so I wanted to read the first sentence because it really struck me. It said, "Suspicion is the occupational disease of landladies, and long association with them has left me with an obscure sense of guilt I will probably never be free of."
Yeah,
Um,
that's like
so we're in
that's
a boarding house.
that's like saying that's a very eloquent way to saying you hate your landlord.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like, or you had a bad, like it's a very eloquent way of writing a Yelp review, or not Yelp, but
Yeah.
like a review for a motel or something like
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, we're in a boarding house in the French Quarter of New Orleans. Um, and it's run by this landlady who is like she's the archetype of the suspicious landlady. Like if you looked up suspicious landlady in the encyclopedia, it was this woman.
Yeah,
Um, she she's to the point like she has a room of her own, but she sleeps on a cot at the base of the stairs to like stop people from getting out without her knowing about it. Um, and this was a time when if you stayed in one of these boarding houses, you weren't meant to have people in your room. You know, you couldn't, if you were a man staying at one of these houses, you weren't supposed to bring ladies home. They had quite strict rules to stay in these places.
yeah, because
Um,
they were cheaper than some of the other places. It's not like
yeah, it
this
wasn't
is not
like
the
a
Ritz.
hotel.
This is not the hotel. This is like almost like
At a hotel,
a
you pay a
hostel.
premium and they don't ask questions about you.
And usually,
But in a boarding house, it's more
yeah.
community, I
Well,
guess.
in her defense too, there's a reason why some of these people are getting rooms here because they're getting into some nefarious stuff, and they want to have some place
Mm,
to go. Whether that involves having a prostitute or doing drugs or things like that. So I think she's privy to that behavior, and
yeah,
she knows that yes, it's cheap. I'm gonna with this price I'll get all sorts. So she
yeah,
just doesn't sleep in her room. She puts herself in that cot and just kind of waits. She's like a guard dog.
yeah. A guard dog.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and our narrator has apparently just snuck out.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
they left by the way of the balcony and a pair of sheets, and were like miles out of town before this woman found out. Um, so the this boarding house, like if you are trying to get out of it at night, you kind of have to like grope along the hall to like make sure that you can get out because there's no lights.
You're like doing
Like
the
there's
mission
no lights.
like Tom Cruise. You're trying to like Mission
Yeah.
Impossible. You're like sneaking stealth
Hmm.
actions trying to get out of this place because she like I'm under the impression that she really doesn't have anything going on except this. So
No.
I feel like
No.
it's just like her existence to like her main focus in life is just to make sure this really ugly tenement house is like the run the way she wants. Like that's that she's not.
Yeah, the way she wants.
Yeah, and you know so
She
and he does a
doesn't
good
she doesn't
job.
care if it's not the best place in town. It's
No,
her place
her place. Yeah,
and she wants it run the way she wants.
yeah,
So if you were to like try to sneak out, you would never get past the foot of the stairs because, and I love this line as well, her ghostly figure would spring bolt upright on the rattling iron cot. She would utter one syllable, who?
yeah, yeah.
I could just see this old woman doing this as well.
This contorted face in the corner in the shadows just jumps out at you. It's
Yeah.
scary, and the place is not it's not well lit. It's the place
No,
itself
it said
is
it was totally lightless, in
yeah,
fact.
yeah. So just to hear who goes, it's very I don't know.
Mm.
It almost reminds me of like something like you would read in like some of those old Victorian novels, like a
Yeah.
old
It also
building.
seems it also seems like she's maybe trying to make sure no one bad gets in either. Like, she's
Yeah,
asking who because if you're someone that is okay, maybe she lets them pass, but if it's if you're it was what was it? Yeah, to make sure that you weren't taking your luggage out in a stealthy departure or bringing someone in for carnal enjoyment. So like,
yeah. That she
she's
no,
just trying to make
she's
sure
that's what I'm saying.
the rules are being followed.
She's privy that this is the kind of place you don't pay a lot because you want to like hide out. You're hiding from something.
Hmm.
Either you're married and you want to have a place where you could go with somebody else, or you're doing drugs, or you want to pay for sex. This is kind of so she accepts the money. She knows it, but she's also trying to keep the peace, keep it as
Hmm.
controlled as possible. And is
Yeah, of
the my
course.
the very the whole thing my favorite part about this story is like because of like these restrictions and then the way the location because it's a very like impoverished area, you have a lot of characters
Hmm.
that come through, and that
Yeah.
and we learn about those characters as the story goes, or we learn about them through the protagonist.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, the the main thing to take away from this landlady is she's super suspicious. She's very paranoid. And she kind of has good reason to be
yeah,
because the sort of people that she has in her boarding house, like there's a lot of deadbeats and
yeah,
she gets
mm-hmm,
taken for a ride by a lot of them. They don't
mm-hmm,
pay the
yeah,
rent.
yeah,
Um and they can't really pay their rent.
yeah.
So,
They got
you
nothing to
know,
lose, and
they're
it's
like, "Oh,
like
I'll pay you next month. I'll pay you next week. I'll pay you next week." And they never do.
I always got Shiny. I got this feeling where she goes, "I got 10 people tonight. I'm already assuming 5 are not going to pay."
Yeah,
Kind of that's the kind
totally.
of vibe that this is the market. This is her. This is where she's situated. This is her business. She knows there's going to be a lot of loss based just because of
Hmm.
just the people there. But also like they're as crazy as she is and paranoid and
Hmm.
there she does like the people like so she gets some enjoyment from these people. Like, it's like a game to her, but like this some like she
Yeah.
understands like these little hustles. um
Hmm.
like, there was one of them here. I'm not sure if I went too far up, but uh
Mrs. Wayne.
Mrs. Wayne has she was like she would be in like I'm assuming she didn't really have a lot of money. She was a tenant
No.
here. Like she would find anybody who was cooking. Like it's cool because these rooms
Yeah.
had. I'm not sure if these rooms had little a very
I think they could have
small
like hot plates in them
hot
or
plates. Yeah,
something,
so
or
people, some people would make food, and like they're not. I don't think these people can afford going to restaurants, so they're making the food there. And she said in one of the descriptions, whenever she smells food cooking, her door would fly open. She would dart forth with a mottled blue and white saucepan held to her bosom coquettishly as a lace fan. So she would just come out when she smelled food.
hmm
She said that she was half starved, and the odor of food set her off like a powerful drug. But then she had a way. It was not just she didn't like. She wasn't like a panhandler. She didn't just beg for it. She would
no.
she would figure out. She had this way, like she was very good at telling stories, like little like vignettes, or almost,
hmm
I don't know, like in a, like I feel like she could be a columnist in one of those papers, like some love columnist.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
she,
the narrator's totally impressed by her.
yeah, she goes and she knows that if she tells of like a story about her life or something that she, something that she's gonna have whoever's in that room is gonna be, eyes are gonna be locked on
They're
her
gonna
because
end up feeding her. They're gonna
because
end up
they
feeding her.
they're gonna feed her because she's saying something that is grabbing their attention. She tells like these crazy stories. It's like almost like someone who is maybe like a carny or something. Like I don't know. So I can imagine someone who works at a carnival just having crazy stories.
Mm.
Who have been in that or someone who worked at probation officer, or not probation officer, or a correctional officer. So you're getting these stories from her life, which is, she has a very, you know, uh, I don't know. I wouldn't say,
But
like a life that's has lots of more downs than ups. So she
hmm
and so she knows just people fighting in the street, someone stabbings and dragouts and love affairs gone wrong, and she tells these stories, and people just are gathered around it, and they give her food. That's their
hmm
payment exchange.
yeah, the way she's described is there was something pitifully winning about the old lady. So
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
winning, but in the most pitiful way. It's not a like, yes, I am great and I have won. It's a, well, I guess I won this time, you know?
Well, I got food, but I don't think
Yeah.
I don't see like her. I don't. She reminds me of the kind of person who doesn't who this is her hustle and this is it. She's not thinking, but she's just
hmm
thinking as far as the next meal. She's not going,
Yeah.
I got to do something with my life. She just seems like someone is in this world. She smells food. She comes out. She rattles out these stories. People listen and they give her food, and that's how she survives.
Yeah.
I don't think she has. She I don't know. She has like this eye to God, or like she has this weird,
Yeah.
like this otherworldly like talent to tell stories and gossip in a way that nobody else can. But I don't think she's
hmm
like contemplating her life. This is a character. This is a character. You can't make this up.
hmm
And one of the people who is probably the most judgmental in the story is the tenant, the landlord lady, and she's even enticed by this. She's like impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like she's super suspicious. She's used to dealing with deadbeats, but
This one,
Mrs. Wayne still has her wrapped around her finger. It says the landlady was equally spellbound. She hears the stories and she gets carried away with it. And while I love this, all the while that Mrs. Wayne is telling the story, her with her saucepan held to her bosom, she'd be executing a slow and oblique approach to the great kitchen stove. So she's sitting there telling her story and she's just like easing toward the food.
yeah, she's like, and then this happened, and she's like every. I feel like every part of her story, like the
Just
climax
takes a
comes,
step
like
closer.
she takes a step closer, takes a step closer. This is like this made me laugh out loud. She goes, not was let me see. Even the landlady, the stories mistakenly entranced her.
Hmm.
And as she put things on the stove, she would always remark, "Is this? I think it's the landlady." She would say, "She said if the bitch gets a sniff of this cooking, wild horses won't hold her." I thought that was the
Yeah.
funniest. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
that's a funny line. Um, so the people know, like, if people like are probably cooking in a way to not to trying to be as I guess if you could control for it like something fragrant.
Hmm.
Like they're trying, like people are cooking with the window open because they're like, oh my gosh, she's gonna
Yeah.
be. I'm gonna turn around. She's gonna be there in the door frame with her pot or pan, and ready for a story. This is kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
she's says that's the way that's her thing. It
Yeah. It's
works.
it
She
it's
eats.
she's described it so powerfully was her enchantment that even when she was actually removing the lid from the stew pot and ladling out some of its contents into her saucepan, although the landlady's look would follow her movements, there would not appear to be any recognition.
Yeah,
Um, Not until the hapless protagonist of the story had endured his final conclusion. Um, and by that point, Mrs. Wayne had her food and she was ready to go.
that was it. I like DJ Recovery says I also come out when I smell food. I was like, I do the same thing. What's going on here?
I, yes, exactly.
That's a.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, what's going on here? What are we cooking?
What's this?
What's this? What's this?
What are you having? It's so funny because when I sit next to my boss at work, she is a marathon runner and she eats very odd things, and very little. She's a very tiny woman, and she quite often gets. They have these like little. They're meant to be like snacks, like chips or something like that, but they're made like vegetable puffs or something like that for babies. She actually goes and buys like the food that you give babies when you're trying to like move them onto solid foods.
Oh,
And that's what she eats all day. And I always look over at her whenever she's not because I want it, but just because I'm like, oh, I heard the wrapper go. What are you doing? And she's always like, do you want one? And I'm like, nah, you're all right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah. So we have this. I like we kind of learn about this woman. This is one of the
Hmm.
ladies in here, Mrs. Wayne. Um,
Yeah, she's just one of the tenants.
yeah, and then you hear more about just this little tussle. And then it
Hmm.
goes. Then we start learning about in this old house. It was either deathly quiet or else the high plaster walls were ringing like fire bells with angry voices, with quarrels over the use of the laboratory or accusations of theft or threats of eviction. I'm sure that's happening. The landlady's also getting dramatic in there, threatening
Hmm.
people. This just seemed like it was. It's like imagine this place in New Orleans back in the day and dark and can't by candlelight and then people coughing and upset. It's probably not the best
Yeah.
conditions. People.
Well, and a lot of these places, like they say, fights over the lavatory. There's like one
Yeah, these are communal
shared
bathrooms.
lavatory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So of course, if someone's in there, having a long time in the bathroom, other people are going to
Yeah.
be waiting.
So we go back to we don't have a do we have a name of this gentleman who's
No,
we
no,
don't we don't
the
have
the
this the
narrator,
narrators. Well, he has a tendency to sneak out, come back.
yeah, but
He
his room is in the attic.
yeah
So
yeah yep
he mentions that he doesn't cook in it. He always goes down to the landlady's kitchen. But it didn't even have a door. It
yeah
just
it
had a
had like
curtain
a
over it.
curtain yeah um
And so he could see from his bed, he could see out into the hall. And that's where there's this alcove.
mm,
And sometimes it's kind of, I guess the way I envisioned it is it's maybe like a dormer window at the end of the hall.
mm-hmm
So like it sticks out from the roof and there's a bench there. So it's a little bit like a window seat.
mm,
And when he looks out from his bed into this alcove, he sees a figure
Yeah.
seated there, a ghostly figure. It's like
Misty
it's
gray
like
figure. Yeah.
misty gray. Yeah. So he believes it to be kind of an angel or an elderly Madonna,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have fear about this thing. It doesn't.
No.
It 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 appears most often on winter nights when it's raining. Um, and
Moments
but
of
you can still see
moments.
the moon.
Yeah, moments of contemplation. He's thinking about something weighs heavy in his head, on his head,
Hmm.
and he's seeing this figure sitting there, almost like a grandmother or some kind of some.
Yeah. There was a really nice description. It says, New Orleans and the moon have always seemed to me to have an understanding between them, an intimacy of sisters grown old together, no longer needing more than a speechless look to communicate their feelings to each other. And we've talked about this before with Tennessee Williams. He gives New Orleans a personality. He gives
Yeah, yeah.
it is a character in
Always
his
vibrant.
writing.
Yeah, it's like there's a
Yeah.
lot of
And
personification going on. New Orleans is a
mhm,
character in itself.
mhm.
It's almost. I always think it's there's some kind of like a spell it puts on the people who are living, like they live in these houses, but the
Yeah.
spell of the city changes the people, and and that would make sense because of all the you know magic. New Orleans has a very rich history in like
Mhm.
occultism and like voodoo and things like so
Yeah.
like so it's I don't know. I feel like if you live in a place like that that's always talking in those
Mhm.
terms, it's like people are speaking about that. I know the graves that their cemeteries are different. The graves are above
Mhm.
ground, and there's always like
Yeah,
if
because
you're
of the floods.
the floods, yeah, and so I feel like if you live someplace where that is a common thing, like you're just gonna it's going to appear, it's gonna like hang loosely in your subconscious. The people who live there,
Mhm.
it's like it's gonna be a topic that make people recoil. Whereas maybe
Oh,
you
this
talk about
Twitch
that.
Twitch went to school there.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I always wanted to go there. Um, for
Have you never been?
no, I'm not too far from it. I mean,
Me neither.
yeah,
Me
I could,
neither. And when I lived in Tennessee, I could have gone at any
yeah,
point. Like,
yeah. Um, but like, yeah, I just felt maybe the stuff in New Orleans, the people who live there, it just seeps in the literature, it seeps in the movies, seeps in the
mm-hmm.
music. A lot of bands I like are from New Orleans. I feel like that there's a
Mm-hmm.
sound to it. There's a lyrical, it's like very thematic, and
Yeah.
so it's cool. Like so when if like I feel like if this narrative was talking about this misty figure, people are like, oh yeah, yeah, I have one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You'd be
have
like,
one in
oh
my
yeah,
house.
we
We got a
call
couple.
it old grandma. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just
We call it Beretta. She's hanging out.
Beretta.
Yeah, so it's
That's Lola. She just, she's our
we got one
family
too.
ghost.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. It but in the way it's put in the story, I I got this impression that it's like it watches over him, make sure he's
Yeah, he definitely feels it's a benevolent force.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There wasn't anything uh, negative or evil about the spirit. Um,
And he says whenever um he he talks about that, like, whenever he feels wounded or, a loss or failure,
yeah,
he always goes back to New Orleans. Wherever he
yeah,
goes in his life, when he needs comfort and to be at home, he always goys back to New Orleans because that's where he
yeah.
belongs.
And it's like, and even more. This is when Shiny was also made a connection I didn't think so. I didn't think about. But the next, like, because I know I could tell which place you are in the text.
Mm,
The next line says during this. first period in New Orleans, none of the small encouragements in my life as a writer had yet come along, and I had already accepted the terms of anonymity and failure. So he was, as a writer, is like he was. I can see it being like two. There's something about it. Like, okay, if you're a struggling writer, then you're already unknown. So why don't you place
Hmm.
yourself in a? Would you put yourself in the place that you're unknown as well? Like you're in this weird,
Yeah.
dank tenement house, and you're unknown there, and that it's like a extension of maybe your, or it makes me, if I was a struggling writer, it would make me feel less alone because I'm like, oh well, I'm unknown here, but I'm also unknown professionally. So there's like this. So I could see New Orleans being like this. I don't know. It's just a place where he could huddle
Mm.
and kind
Hmm.
of adjust or hone his skill. So I feel like he was writing. He said when the naked light bulb had been turned off and everything invisible gone except the misty alcove. Like he would, I guess he would be writing there. He had this little attic space. He didn't care about a door. It was just he kind of.
Yeah.
I felt like he was just whatever it was, whatever he felt. It was he was accepting it. It was almost like he goes, whatever you have, this house, whatever you have in this, whatever is in this house, spiritually, physically, I want it to come at me
Hmm.
because it's almost like
Yeah.
it's fueling the muse at that point. So, and he sometimes he gets some physical stuff too because um, he is this in the same place that he starts to he was in bed and he heard somebody, another person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you talk about that, that's a good. I think that's another thing. Oh, that's what the writer. This is what Shiny was saying in a connection that this is Tennessee Williams. This has to be Tennessee
Yeah.
Williams.
I felt like this story was definitely leaning on like Tennessee Williams was writing himself into the story. He is the
Yeah,
narrator.
he's going to New
He's
Orleans.
a Yeah,
Struggling
he's a
writer,
struggling writer.
struggling with his identity as well,
Yeah.
sexual identity. Because this, I want to really break down this next passage because it's so much to talk
Well,
about.
there's a little section before it because he's explaining he talks about that uh there's a woman I think that has illness,
Mm,
and he would go to her room and sit by her bed just to like be a friend to her, just to be a comfort.
yeah.
Um, but he also says that I think like the narrator's trying to tell us that this is not an apparition that he sees in any kind of state of not being fully aware. Because he says the appearance of the gray figure in the alcove never preceded the time of falling asleep by more than a few moments. But he's still awake. He's not totally asleep,
Yeah, he's not dreaming. Yeah.
but as he's about to slip away, she leaves.
Mm.
So he sees her while awake, and then as he starts to slip away, that's when she goes.
But
Um,
what about the woman though? The sick woman. That's something different though, right?
no, it's just yeah. He just says that he would
Oh,
when
she's a sick
during
woman.
this time, he used to she I think that's what he was talking about, that it like she maybe was the spirit of the sick woman
Oh, okay. So we
or
don't know.
something like
Okay,
that.
that's what I. Okay, I was a little mixed up. You're saying that this
Yeah.
woman was not. He's trying to. He's placing her. He's not. She's not this. This
Yeah.
random person. He thinks that this was the woman in the past. In his past, that he was nursing,
Yeah,
and
possibly.
that possibly, and she succumbed to some, you know, some kind of like disease, and this and
There were
he.
plenty of illnesses killing people in the like
Yeah,
30s.
yeah. So she's there.
Hmm.
I think it's like that whole passage is about him trying to displace her, It must be her. It must be
Yeah.
her. Why would it be her? Why am I getting this sense of familiar this familiar sense about this
Yeah.
person? If someone I've talked to
So
before.
yeah, so then we're on to the part that you were talking about. So
Yeah, yeah.
on one night, um one of the nights that are the nights where he's likely to see the figure, um a more substantial visitor came. Um so, he wakes up, he comes to from being asleep because there's a warmth in the room. There's
Someone's there.
another
Someone's
body
there.
in the room.
Someone's there. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a young artist that is also staying in the boarding house, and he's got tuberculosis. He's not well,
Yeah.
but he's come into the room uninvited,
Yeah.
and he, crouches over the bed, and it startles the narrator. Like, somebody's in his room he didn't expect, like looking at him.
Yeah.
But this person just says, like, keeps he slept in
Whispering.
the room next door, but yeah, he just whispers, "I want to, I want to." And this line to me was just very powerful. So I lay back and let him do what he wanted until he was finished. And this
Yeah.
this line is actually what really made the connection for me to Tennessee Williams. Not, yes, okay, he was writing about a writer, and so that makes sense that it's a connection to him, but also it's a writer who's having a homosexual experience and
Yeah.
maybe was a passive participant in it. Um,
Yeah. 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 This is like it's like this time. This is what I think of. Like, if someone's trying to understand their sexual identity and their feelings about things, they may put themselves. And it's funny. We just saw we recently just saw Midnight Cowboy, and there's a scene in that
mhm,
film at the end where it's a guy. He's a salesperson, and he's like, "Oh, how you doing?" And he meets this guy in a place that usually is to meet uh, men for homosexual encounters. And he's like,
mhm,
"Oh, it's funny to see you here. Oh, okay." And I was like, "I'm just in town, just looking to have." Almost like pretending that he's not there for that, and
yeah.
almost saying, and
Like
then
it's just a
this is a
coincidence.
coincidence. I'm here, and then that scene escalates rather quickly, and
Mm,
but it ends up becoming really bad because he doesn't have any money, and then throughout the scene, this sales guy is almost like a masochist, and he's I don't know what I'm
mm,
doing. I don't know why I'm doing this. I hate myself. I hate
mhm.
myself. What am I doing here? And but I think that people who may have these kinds of feelings, or maybe be leaning towards feeling liking the different the same sex or thing, and maybe there's a lot of like pressure, religious pressure, and
Mhm.
almost self-loathing, and so
Yeah.
they may he just when I read that scene about this character, he made it out like it was like he had no uh,
Agency.
agency in it, but I think he did. I think there's a reason he's in this house because I think there's a high
Well,
probability that he there's a lot of artists here, and there's a lot of artists
yeah.
are gay, and he knows that he's going to. It's like if it happens, it happens. But I'm like the conditions are right for this kind of stuff here.
But the thing also I think is the way this young artist is described, he's sickly. He's
Yeah,
not someone at full strength. So it's entirely possible that if the narrator wanted to stop this,
yeah,
he could.
he could have, yeah, yeah, but he didn't. I mean, and it made it was just a passive. I let him finish. I let him
Yeah.
do what he wanted to do until he was finished. More like I'm removing myself from like maybe my conscience. Like I don't want to know. Like for me to initiate this would be too much to handle.
Hmm.
But to pretend that it was I that it was just I was the victim, or I was to pretend that I was this happened. I had no control is an easier pill to swallow in a sense. So
Mm-hmm.
I just it was such a it's just a crazy thing because I also think of Tennessee Williams' life and the time he was a gay man during a time when it was terrible. I mean, I mean you have rights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean there's rights now, and as we have, and I know I've know of I know of people who were older gentlemen that were like I see these people like gay rights and everything else, and it's part of me is happy, but part of me is still living in that big guys that were born in the 40s and 30s. They're not comfortable even with all the validation and stuff on
Mm-hmm.
TV. They were living in a time where you can get fired, you can get killed for
Yeah.
being gay. So like this was for them it's hard to flip that switch and say, oh yeah, we're all accepted. There's still so it's like imagine this era where some of these people maybe they have families, maybe they've married to heterosexual marriages, and then they come into this place because they don't know what to do, or we don't know what he has,
Yeah.
this tuberculosis, but it could have been syphilis or something like that. You never know
Yeah.
with this, but it was like I just love the exchange of I just let him do this. I'm gonna come. I don't want to. It's too much to think about this. I think it's too much for him to accept. Maybe in that situation,
Mm.
and so sinking making the situation happen the way it did is for maybe for him to cope. That's what I got from it
Yeah.
all. But it's I just like there's a great dialogue, very sparse dialogue. Like I want this to happen. I want this. I want
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
It was like we don't know what happened. We could only assume.
I have some guesses.
Yeah, me too. Um,
But after this whatever happens, um he starts to get sleepy and he looks over like the young artist goes back to his room, starts coughing through the night because of his illness,
mm,
um and muttering to himself, and the narrator can hear this. But yeah, as he starts to get drowsy, he looks towards the alcove, as seems to be his like habit. And there she was.
yeah.
The figure was there, and he wondered if she had watched what had happened
Mm,
and what her attitude was toward perversions of longing. That's how he describes it.
mm.
But she doesn't seem to have a reaction or any indication.
And yeah,
She
and
just sits there.
it's almost like an extension of his conscience too. Like I know she's personified as this figure, but I mean, if you think about this story very abstractly, this could be like his conscience too. Like
Yeah.
my mind is looking like kind of stepping out of myself and looking at me do this thing. Like, am I judging myself?
Yeah.
Am I being authentic? This situation happened the way I thought it appears to be, and it's like this figure is a little bit of maybe a judgment too, in a way,
Yeah.
like what's
I
happening
I
here.
kind of, because it's a female figure, I wondered if it was maybe like a stand-in for his mother,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
in a way.
yeah. That's a good read on that. Could be because
Like what does his mother think of him? Is she judging him for his behavior?
and I saw
Um,
Twitch was said. I'm not sure if this is aligned with this comment. She said, "And in the South," and I'm like, I'm not sure if you meant. I think you meant that this is in the South too. So this is
yeah,
extra, like this kind of behavior. These the South
it's
was always.
really looked down upon.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like the South is always behind with cultural stuff, like in terms of
Hmm.
acceptance and all that. So it's that's he's fighting that too, and
Yeah.
and then the mom and all that.
But
Uh,
I think that's why this uh, dis description is important, because it said, I felt that she had permitted the act to occur and had neither blamed nor approved, and so I went off to sleep. He
yeah,
doesn't he doesn't need
there's no
approval. He just needs it to not be blame.
Yeah, that's why,
A
and that's
neutral
what.
reaction is a fine.
Oh, he's saying he prefers a neutral reaction.
Well, no, he's just saying it doesn't. He's able to sleep. Do you know? So that tells me his mind is at ease.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. He's just saying he felt neither blame nor approval. It's just a neutral reaction. So it doesn't cause him distress. It's not like, yay, go you, but it's also not, you're a monster and I can't accept this. So he's at peace because it is a neutral reaction.
Well, let's put it this way: if this person was real, this
Hmm.
woman apparition or something like that, if he is acting in this way, he has this.
Hmm.
If he's having these homosexual encounters, I think the only people that know about it is him and the guy he's with. So to have another
Yeah.
bystander is maybe a comforting thing where, and I think he went, I can see him going to sleep and going, somebody else knows about this and I'm okay. I don't feel judged and I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
Like I let somebody
Hmm.
else in, someone close to me. I'm not sure why, like maybe someone from my past, in this ghostly thing, but it's someone who is on Earth or not on Earth. Like this is,
Hmm.
there is still like someone, like I let someone in this little tight, like this circle that I keep
Hmm.
private, and that somebody, and now someone knows about it, and I didn't feel from this, I didn't get an energy that they were judging me. I didn't think I didn't get an
Yeah.
energy from anything. So maybe it would be the catalyst for him to come out or to be more open with
Yeah.
his sexuality. Um, like that was like the tester right there.
Hmm.
If the
Hmm.
old lady
Hmm.
said it was that I didn't, if I felt that I could do that, maybe I could try this to a real person. I could tell my mom
Yeah.
or tell
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
somebody, like a test. Um, so so it kind of, this this little nested scene here kind unravels into something else where it seems that this guy that has, uh, is this the same fellow, right? That this or
Yeah, it
this,
is. It's the
yeah,
young artist
young
with
artist. He's at has a adversarial relationship with the landlady.
hmm
Um, this is
and
before
it
this.
says, yeah, it was no, this is not long after the episode in his room.
Okay, all right,
The artist was involved in a terrible scene with the landlady.
yeah,
So his disease is entering its final stage, which means, this guy's getting close to dying because that's what
yeah,
happens when you have tuberculosis. Um, so he's coughing all the time, but he continues to work because he's an artist. He does quick sketches. But he lives in this hostile world, and so it kind of makes him untrusting of anybody.
mm-hmm, yeah,
Um, and he's like working to not succumb to this illness. Like maybe if
mm-hmm,
he just ignores it and keeps working, he'll be fine.
mm-hmm,
Um, but he starts picking a fight essentially with the landlady about there being bed bugs in his bed
yeah,
because he sees blood, which you can, like, if you're being bitten every night by bed bugs, you may have like little spots of blood. Um and he's super upset with the landlady, saying that his mattress is infested with them, she should replace it, it's up to her to make sure that things are up to scratch.
yeah.
And she's
She's like,
like
that's
she's like,
you.
nah, there's no bed bugs.
That's
She's
your
like, it's
blood.
you.
You're
You're
coughing.
coughing all over the place. That's, you know,
You're coughing up
you're the
blood.
one spreading that blood. And
Yeah.
and she says that everyone else complains about this as well,
Yeah. I'm tired of
at
you
the
coughing all
place
over.
where he works.
Yeah.
Um yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I was just to extend, add on to that. Yeah. He's like, she lays into him. So it's like, you're just an
Mhm.
eyesore. You're like a hot mess over here. Like you're coughing everywhere, and people don't want to be around you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could go somewhere and maybe go go some hospital. Like you want to keep going in the street doing your thing, and you think that you're being almost like it's like this ambitious type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're upholding your art, but you're really making everybody else around you uncomfortable. And then you're
Mm-hmm.
blaming me for these bed bugs, but it's actually you coughing up blood on his sheets. So now, like,
Yeah.
now it's like now I don't want nothing to do with you. And
Yeah,
I
and
have
they
to,
get into quite a fight, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
He says she's making up lies. She says it's the truth, and she's heard it from, the cashier at the
She's jumping in there,
place
and
where
she's
he
like, let me see
works.
him, let me see him. She's looking at them, and he points, and it's like that's blood, that's blood, that's your blood. Um,
Hmm.
and then it's fine,
And he
yeah.
says it gets like to this like bigger point where he's
Climax,
like, I
yeah.
ought to hit you. And she says, go on, do it. Because if he hits her, she's like, I've got
Oh,
friends on the police force.
yeah.
Or like it's
That was her. Yeah, she has
a
a
nephew that's a
nephew in the police.
captain
That
on the
was
police force.
yeah. That's she kind of leans into that defense. Like I got a nephew who's a captain in the police force. He's gonna arrest you, and you'll be in for major trouble. Um, and he kind of and she goes. She kind of goes after his characters. Like you're, I know about all you
Mhm.
degenerates in the quarter, which I think is another word for gays. Um,
Mhm.
you know, a bunch of rotten half breeds and drunks and degenerates. That's what I have to cope
Mm.
with. You know, your awful condition become the main topic of talk at the place where you work. You spit all around your easel in the courtyard. It's got to be mopped up, strong disinfectant because it can make other people sick or whatever. It just looks gross. So I mean, it's a for this. I mean, for a vivid description of this place, it's almost like this. It doubles down every time. Like every as the story goes on, you're
Mhm.
getting more of this kind of grotesque imagery of this place. Um, so I think it gets to the point, right? If she wants to kick him out, right? Like she
Yeah,
tosses him.
no, she does. She says he'll die in the street, and she tells him to get out.
Yeah. She gets like some old woman from the street, kind of like this, and they kind of burn his furniture. Like they take all his sheets and everything.
Well, yeah, so when he leaves, he doesn't take his stuff with him.
Yeah.
Um, but she decides she gathers all of his stuff. She says, "I want you to gather all your junk up, all of your dirty old handkerchiefs and your bottles, and get them out of here by 12 o'clock noon. Or by God and by Jesus, anything that's left here is going straight down to the incinerator."
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she doesn't want to touch his stuff because she's saying like you're contagious.
Yeah.
You've
You're
got this illness, and if I touch your stuff, then you're gonna
make me sick.
make me sick. Exactly. So he runs out of the room and goes running downstairs and out of the building.
Yeah.
Um, the narrator watches him go.
Yeah.
Um,
In a
and
crazed fury.
yeah, in a he was crazed with fury.
Crazed with fury. Yeah.
Um,
He's
and
crying.
he doesn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah. Hell of a
But he
hell
ends
of a
up in a bar.
and yeah, he gets drunk in a bar, and it's so like these two scenes. Like the next scene is like the landlady just gets all his stuff and gets someone to help her. They take all this stuff up to the courtyard, and then they set it afire. And the crazy
Well, they
thing,
don't set all his stuff on fire. They set the mattress on
mattress. Oh
fire.
yeah, but yeah, mattress. Yeah, but some of his stuff, like the stuff that he was touching his body, and and all that,
Yeah.
especially the mattress because that was his thing. And it's this is a hell of a scene because as this mattress is full in flames, she's telling everybody because she's running a business. She's like, I'm not burning this
Yeah.
because it's bed bugs. I'm burning this
No.
because he's sick. Like I don't want you to get it
Mm-hmm.
twisted. Like I'm not. This is not because my place has bed bugs. I keep it clean. I keep it a nice place or nice to
Yeah.
her standards. He's a liar, and like she's almost like making she's having a press conference about this outside
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
whoever
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like to the street people and the other tenants, and like I'm doing this because this is horse shit. Like is contaminated. It's nothing but I haven't seen a bed bug. It's his blood.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's just crazy how how nuts that would look at this woman yelling at the top of her lungs about it's not bed bugs
Mm-hmm.
in a
Yeah. It's not bed bugs. I swear.
with a flaming mattress behind her in this tirade.
Yeah. So they do get some of his belongings and put them outside under a tree. Um, and cover them up because it's raining. So they do try to protect them. And the young man does come back
Yeah,
to gather what's left.
yeah,
But he says that, there's a comb missing.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
a silver and pearl handle. So it's something that's quite expensive, probably. And it belonged to his mother. So not only is the actual item probably expensive, but it had sentimental value for him.
yeah,
Um, but it was found. So, his tirade is soothed by that.
yeah.
Um,
But then we go back to the narrator, and
yeah,
it
he
seems like it. Yeah,
that event with the young artist, that puts him off. He no longer wants to stay at this place.
yeah. But there was also like this his decision not to stay there was also verified by the lack of this older woman, this angel that he an angel in the alcove.
Yeah, the
She
angel the
he
angel seems to be gone.
Yeah, and I feel like he wants to leave, but knowing that she's gone is another for him is okay. It's time to move on. This is the end of an era of
Yeah.
my life, and then that's he just moves on. And I just thought it was cool
Hmm.
because it just reminds is like he had this experience. I feel like he could siphon out like 10 stories from this whole
Hmm.
this whole experience of him doing this. Like if it was I could see him going through this and then it becoming like this. I guess the thing that provokes him to maybe take more chances or seeing someone in that condition or go through that, it makes your low seem different, maybe higher.
Yeah.
It gives him some perspective and all that. So and that's what I think at the
Hmm.
end that's what he
Hmm.
wanted. I it almost feels like this like Tennessee Williams went over here was a little bit confused about his sexuality. Um,
Hmm.
wanted to be in a place where he could kind of. I mean, we talked about that. Like he was very testy about how he because they said like oh he despite like the landlady being like this he snuck out and it just reminded me of
Hmm.
a petulant child or like a child
Hmm.
not like having like overbearing parents and then wanted to be somewhere where they could just do whatever they wanted. Uh,
Mm.
like maybe I understood. I was talking to Shiny about this. I understood it as somebody who may have been this in a strict household, but then he's like, okay, well, I'm in New Orleans. I'm in this kind of boarding house thing. I'm gonna do whatever I want. They don't know me here, so
Hmm.
if I have inclination to try something different or to do something I would never normally do, I'm gonna do it here because this house. I feel like I'm taking a different persona at this point.
Mm.
And I think that all rolled up into
Yeah.
his even accepting that the way the guy was and accepting his own sexuality. He's like, well, I'm here.
Hmm.
It's not really me. like it's like then we were saying also when we were talking about doing the story, it's almost like Halloween, like people dress up for Halloween. Um,
Yeah. They try on a different persona
they try
sometimes.
on a different persona, like a woman maybe that a lot of women like maybe they don't dress provocatively in normal times where they have a very strict fashion code in their house, and then Halloween gives them maybe a license to. It gives them
Yeah.
freedom to kind of dress the way they want to because it's Halloween. Like no
Hmm.
one's gonna say, "Oh, you look like, why you dress like that?" Or you can, and you're also saying, Shiny, that this is like a lot of guys that are transgender use they've you've heard stories like men will use that day to kind of try on that persona that they maybe had, but they haven't really
Yeah,
come to terms with.
it's like it may be, and it's not even trying on. It's like they feel that way.
All the time. Yeah.
they even know in themselves, I am a woman. But it's unacceptable in society for them to wear the clothes that they feel accurately represents them. So Halloween is a
Halloween
chance
is.
for them to do that because they're like, "Oh, I'm just wearing a costume." It's like they're hidden in plain sight on Halloween.
I mean, and that's not just for that, but for all everybody. I mean, for if
Hmm.
you live, I know friends of mine maybe grew up religious, and they just I remember seeing them on Halloween, and they were like wearing like fishnets and things like that. They never were able to
Hmm.
wear that in their house, but for
Hmm.
some reason on Halloween you have a license to do that. I mean, it doesn't, and not
Hmm.
just not just women, girls, but guys too. So it's like all people. I feel like this was Tennessee Williams' Halloween, like this little excursion away from his normal setting. Like this is, I think he learned a lot about himself, and maybe
Hmm.
that Angel in the Alcove is also like that, another permission that he was trying to gain. We don't know, and we don't know where that figure with it could it could be a hybrid between his mother and some older person, maybe some older person that didn't judge him. Maybe
Hmm.
maybe he confided in this person that he was taking care of. He felt that she knows me. She knows I'm gay, or she knows I'm this, or she knows she never judges me. So maybe he
Hmm.
didn't tell her, maybe he did, but it was the energy that he got from her felt benevolent. So it seemed right for him to think of her, or for her to be that person that goes, "Oh no, you're fine. I didn't judge you. You lived your life."
Yeah.
All that. And
But
it's
and also he takes her disappearance as a sign that he should go.
yeah, yeah. That
You
like
know, if she's
she's
if she's
left.
no longer here,
I'm out.
then I shouldn't be here either.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I see someone may read that story as a description of a house. I think it's more than that. I think it was a trip. It was a one of those life altering. I don't know what do you call that? When people do that, like a not stream, like an identity
An
crisis,
epiphany.
epiphany, but like like a existential crisis. Like some people go to like
Mm,
they do go somewhere, and
yeah.
it's like it causes this. For him, I think that he was able to navigate in that world that maybe he has hidden from everybody else. He was able to do this in
Hmm.
this little house that was that made his whatever he felt was wrong with him made it like you ever go someplace and sometimes I go places I'm like, damn, I thought I was fucked up. Like I go some places and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, like I'm squeaky clean compared to all these people. You know,
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. There's definitely been I've been around people in the past where I'm like, I'm good. I'm real good. I'm
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah,
I don't have any of this going on, so I'm good.
Gers says like an opposite day, like an identity crisis. Yeah, like rather than feeling lost, you find yourself. Yeah, there was. Uh, I think he was able to find himself in all that chaos. It seemed like
Hmm.
he was in this environment. It was things were moving in ways that he never anticipated. He was seeing things that he doesn't normally see. It gave him time to like sit in the recesses and find himself. Yeah, very like a self discovery, and it's cool. Like, and like Tennessee Williams is so cool. Like as a person, like
Hmm.
this, he was like, I'm gonna do this in New Orleans. In this, like I don't know, some people maybe have gone to the doctor, but he says, no, I'm gonna plop myself down here in
No.
New Orleans, and the I think it just reminds me of there's a guitar player musician Wino. He's just in the stoner rock world. He's like a
Hmm.
kind of a mythical figure. He's like a Lemmy, and he had
Oh, okay.
a documentary uh, that came out about this just the history of this. I don't know that kind of music, stoner rockish that genre.
Yeah.
And he's like he had a scene. He was hanging out in a garden. He goes he goes I drank a liter of whiskey every day. I was doing angel dust on a daily basis. Like
Hmm.
he just kind of did a laundry list of the drugs that he would do on a daily basis. And he goes, I don't know. It got to a point where it was getting too much, and he says, I chose. He's like, this may seem unorthodox for some, but I took the biggest. I took the biggest hit of acid I ever did in my life, and I just let nature sort it out. And I was like, that's the most rock and roll shit I ever heard in my life. He was like,
Yeah.
I let nature sort it out. And he said I had never touched this stuff since. And I was like, damn. Like some people just are like
Wow.
some people it works for
Yeah.
this is Tennessee Williams' way of maybe like he left this house and then he wrote a Glass Menagerie and Streetcar Named Desire. Like he
Yeah. Yeah. Like he got so
like this was
there's
like this is
a
the beginning of that. His little
yeah,
his
there's an artist I follow that always says in order to create output, you must have input. And it's like if Tennessee Williams was in this house, this is where he was getting his input. So now he can finally produce output.
yeah, 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 and I like that. But I on a multitude of levels, it was like a personal. It was like I feel like he handled like his professional hurdles and his personal hurdles in one. In one, that's a hell of a.
Hmm.
I want to go to that place. That'd be nice. I need to
Yeah.
go. That's like he went to the one stop shop. He handled all that stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, it was a I really liked kind of. I'm glad we went through this slowly because it makes me see it as like a more of like this retreat rather than like a circumstantial thing. I just didn't think like he like I feel like there was people there at this place that they that's all they knew. They were just there because financial
Yeah.
reasons. I felt like he was there on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, if well, because he talked about it a couple of times that it was a safe place for him.
Yeah, yeah,
The city was. So, the city of New Orleans was a safe place for him, and this boarding house was a place that he knew well.
yeah.
So, I do get it. It's kind of like coming back to what you know. Um,
But I don't think he's from those
and,
people. I don't think
and
he's of the people that go there. I think it's
no,
yeah,
no, 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 no,
yeah,
no. No, he's more like an observer.
yeah,
Um, and that's the thing, I think, like, he says that he goes there when he's, had failure and stuff like that. That's when he goes to New Orleans. So, maybe maybe it's not like his first time writing. Maybe it's when he feels like he can't come up with something new or, because people, even the most prolific writers can sometimes have a little bit of writer's
Yeah,
block. So, maybe it's
like
a place where he goes when he can't access his creativity.
yeah, and
Um
he's peeling
and it
another layer
feeds him.
back. He's peeling another layer
Mhm.
back as he goes in there. A little like self discovery. Because a lot of things, I
Mm.
think when you're a writer, it's like, what? Okay, why am I, why am I hitting this plateau? Is it because of something with me? And
Mhm.
let me, instead of some people go through it to the doctor or have a talk, like he needed to be there to understand it all. And
Yeah.
it's just, it's a good way. It's like it's very, I don't know, it's a very optimistic story for being so vividly grotesque.
Mhm.
I think it's a
No, I would
redemption.
agree with
It's like
that.
a little bit of redemption. No, I wouldn't say redemption, but this like I came out at the end of that story thinking he came out better. He got what he
Yeah,
needed.
I think so. I definitely think so.
Yeah, but let's go on um
Let's go
to
on.
our next. I know that you're excited about this because we would. It's cool too because we're doing two authors who have poetic leanings,
Mm.
which is nice when you read a lot. It's I feel like to you you strike gold when you read a person who's also a poet because you have
Yeah.
this hybrid of fiction and this the beautiful like those poetic lines. I personally I just reading poetry by itself I have a hard time. I can get into the most meta fiction vague in the shiny nose I prefer that. I like vague. I like ambiguity. I like
Mhm.
things unsaid, unspoken implications and stuff. That's my I could play with that all day. That's my lane. But when it's just
Mhm.
poetry, it's almost too much. Like I can't attach myself to anything. I'm like, where am I going with this? So like when it's like it's the best if you have a poet doing fiction. It's great. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
It's almost like the combination of history and fiction and history with historical fiction all day. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to tell me about a time in history and make a story about it? Okay, I'm in. Um,
Yeah, it's funny because I'm not hugely into poetry either, but unless you set it to music, then it's fine. Then I'm all about poetry.
lyric, exactly, yeah.
W-
So I have a hard time. I wish I
But
was able to read it.
I
Just have a hard time with it. It's too open.
the poetry that I've often connected with most is actually more straightforward. Like I love Emily Dickinson, but
Yeah,
her poetry is real straightforward. It's very very clear what she's talking about
yeah,
in
yeah,
most of her poems.
yeah,
But you're absolutely correct that if it's a well, like James Baldwin, he was a poet,
yeah,
and I love his prose because it's written from the mind of a poet.
yeah,
His description is poetic,
yeah,
but it's still prose.
yeah. Well, that brings us to
But
Stephen
yeah,
Crane.
so Stephen Crane. Stephen Crane was born in November 1871 in Newark, New Jersey. His father was a Methodist minister, and his mother was a minister's daughter. So this guy, full on, got the religious upbringing. He was the last of 14 children, and there was quite an age gap between him and his next sibling, a sister. So as a child, he was often sickly, had constant colds. He was, in a way, raised by his older siblings. They looked after him because his his mom would have been much older by the time he was born
Yeah,
because he was the last, and they had life to get on with.
yeah.
So he had these older siblings, and they kind of looked after him. He wrote his first story at 14 years old.
Mm.
He ended up being sent to military school, and it was said to be, or he was said to be far in advance of his fellow students. But they kept describing him as physically fit but not handsome.
Mm.
And yet he was still compelling to other people. He was aloof but very popular. And in 1892, he decided he was going to be a full time writer. He worked for the New York Tribune, um, doing stories. But he wasn't, again, like I said, he wasn't considered handsome, but he was very attractive to people. So
Mm.
he ended up having an affair with a married woman.
Mm.
And but he wanted to marry her. He wanted her to leave her husband and, run away with him. And she just wasn't interested. She probably had a well-established life with her husband. And here was this struggling writer who wasn't even that good looking, but, she found attractive. Um, and so she wasn't entertaining that. He was struggling as a freelance writer in New York, and he decided to start writing a novel, which he was going to publish privately if that's what it took. If no one was going to sign up, buy it from him to publish, then he was going to do it himself.
Mm.
Um, but by the time he was 24, he was starting to get success. But he was involved in a scandal. Uh, he was said to have been trying to pick up a prostitute. He thought he was just hanging out with a couple of ladies. Uh, he didn't really know what their professions were. But the police, said, nope, that was a prostitute. You're soliciting. That's illegal. And he ended up having a big court case about it. He didn't, nothing actually happened to him because of it, I guess. He went on with his life, but not for long.
Mhm.
At 25, he went to Jacksonville, Florida, and he met a 31-year-old woman called Cora Taylor. He and Cora Taylor got into some shit. Like, he was involved in uh, a couple of different like war battles, not around like kind of World War II or World War One. These were like kind of side
Like
battles that were going on. Well, he
like
wouldn't have been anyway because he
like
was
street gang stuff.
no, no, more like battles, actual conflicts, but like they were smaller ones. Do you know, like a Turkish war, or I'll tell you the names of them. Um, it was stuff that happened once he went to Florida and met this woman. So
That's what happens when you go to Florida.
yeah, so he was a war correspondent in Cuba, um, and so it was the Spanish American War.
Oh, okay. He
Uh,
reminds me. I get a little Ambrose Bierce vibes from him.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Like Ryder,
So
fighting.
yeah, it says that he'd found contentment in Jacksonville, Florida, but he um he became restless
Mm.
and he left Jacksonville to go back to New York. He applied for a passport to Cuba, Mexico, and the West Indies, and he started traveling. Um, there were blockades though around uh, Cuba. Um, so he went to England.
Mm.
They really liked him there. Then he went to Athens, and as he got to Athens, Turkey declared war on Greece. So,
Wow.
um, so he became a war correspondent again.
This I was saying. He's in
um,
it. He is.
yeah, he's in it. So, and he's traveling still with Cora Taylor. Like they're still together, going places. But they end up uh they referred to themselves as Mr. and Mrs. Crane and lived in England. Um, but they concealed their relationship from everyone in the States. Because Cora Crane had been married a couple of times before. I don't know um, if she was still married to one of her previous husbands. I have no idea.
Oh, they're trying to keep it on
Um,
the low.
yeah. Stephen Crane also wrote The Red Badge of Courage,
I know that story.
which is yeah, it's a very famous novel. Hemingway really liked it. Um, but yeah, so they end up after the war. Uh, he'd been in Havana. He'd been to Puerto Rico. He got yellow fever, then malaria. Like he was going through it during all of this, but he kept going along and reporting on the war wherever it went.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but they went back to England. He and Taylor, and their rent hadn't been paid for a year. But Crane got a solicitor to help them sort these things out. Um, and he became unwell. He had a pulmonary hemorrhage,
Whoa.
um, which is bleeding in the lung. And they decided to, uh, well, he was gonna try and go to Gibraltar and write, and he was writing a new novel called The Old Ready, um, which he completed 25 of the 33 chapters, but he was getting sicker, and he eventually died at the age of 28. So he was really young.
He does all that stuff. Man, he's in the 27 club. you know, pretty
Yeah,
much. Like he's like a rocket, a comet.
yeah. He lived a whole like really big full life in 28 years.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. He
his
died so
style
young.
is yeah, yeah. His style is naturalism, American realism, and impressionism, and sometimes it becomes a mixture of all three.
That's so cool.
Um,
I love that.
but yeah, he was really there were many similarities and like stylistic techniques between Crane's writing and the impressionistic paintings, um, which impressionism would have been going on around the same time, so that
Yeah.
kind of makes sense. But he used color a lot,
Mm-hmm.
like the red badge of courage.
Yeah. The
It
blue.
has it in the
It says
title.
this the blue house. Does the house is blue? Is he really the
Oh, it's the Blue Hotel,
blue
which is what
hotel?
we're
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
it's a blue. It's the color blue of a place, and yeah,
Hmm.
perhaps some symbolic meaning to it all. So he.
Yeah.
I wonder when did he write? I wonder when he wrote this story. I was curious. Oh, 1899.
I can find out for you.
Wow, he did this right before
Yeah,
he died.
1890. Yeah. Yeah,
Right before he died.
because he died in 1900.
Yeah, yeah.
He died
So
in June of 1900. So, yeah,
yeah,
within probably 8 to, well, certainly within like 18 months.
yeah. It was that a long, long, long time. This is his
Yeah.
last lap, so to
Hmm.
speak. So just get into this one. This is my first time reading Stephen
Yeah.
Crane. I'm excited because this of the poetry connection, and I was just told by many people that you'll love him, and this is
Mm.
you'll definitely get into his short stories. Uh, so
Well, I really enjoyed this story.
I did too, yeah. And so we kind of
It's
so
a
setting the scene as a
it's a
hotel.
yeah, well, we're in a town that isn't really a town. It's a fort, but there's this hotel outside of the fort and a train
Mm,
station.
that's true. Okay,
And
okay.
so there are people traveling past,
Mm-hmm.
and the proprietor of the hotel, Scully,
Mm-hmm.
he's very good at going to the train station, and getting
Good,
customers.
joling.
Yeah, convincing people to come stay at the Palace Hotel.
Yeah,
Um, and there are people that have dealings uh, uh, with the fort who maybe need a place to stay because they're not military or whatever. But it's not. He's doing okay with his business, but part of why he's doing okay is because he goes and gets people to come stay.
yeah,
Um, so he goes to the Scully goes to the station. He finds a quick-eyed Swede, a cowboy, and a little silent man from the east.
yeah,
So he brings this trio home to the hotel, gets them rooms, and they they all have very distinct like personalities. These three guys, um, and we start to learn about them because they have dinner,
yeah. So
and they're
this,
not.
yeah, it's like almost it's a hotel, but it's almost like a bed and breakfast type thing. Like
Yeah.
the people there, they're cooking food, and you eating with the proprietor and everything. So
Hmm. Yeah, and but these three are kind of silent at first. They don't really know their place here. They didn't even really mean to stop here, but um, this is where they find themselves. They all go into the front room after the meal.
mm,
Um, they Oh, there was a really great description. Again, I this comes down to the poetry for me. It says, "The huge arms of the wind were making attempts, mighty, circular, futile, to embrace the flakes as they sped." So it's snowing. Um, a gatepost like a still man with a blanched face stood aghast amid this profligate fury. I'm like, who? Nobody talks like this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like he's just describing snow.
Yeah,
But it's like
he's
it's
just letting you know that there's a blizzard.
it's a blizzard, but it's also some little foreshadowing because
Hmm.
story definitely hits high gear many times. Almost like so that the weather is foreshadowing, these the actions of these men or the atmosphere in the house at some point. But
I had to look up a word in this story, and that's the first time I've had to do it in any of the stories that we have read.
mm,
Because they say that there's a card game that they're playing, and it said a new game was formed jocosely. I don't even know if I'm saying that rightly, but it means jokingly, playfully, amusingly. But I didn't know that. I was
so
like, what
that
does
that
that
so
word
jocosely
mean?
would mean like you are playing cards, but for the stakes are low. Like you're not really
Yeah, it's for fun.
for fun. Okay.
It's not a high stakes poker match. It's just a game for people to play and have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah. So this is happening, but then isn't like
Hmm.
the people like there's also there are is am I going too ahead of myself? But there's a game. The people who are doing the game is a son.
Yeah, so Johnny
Is a
and
Scully
a
son.
gray beard.
There's a
Yeah,
guy. This
so
guy like
Johnny is
yeah,
Scully's son.
and they're
And
there
then there's an older gentleman.
like they're the ones that are playing this game, and it seems
And
like
they
they
but
play this.
they're like, yeah. Yeah, it's very much, I would say that probably Johnny and this older fella,
Play this game all the
they're
time.
regulars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always playing this game together. Um and you know,
They're having a
the
little spat about
cowboy
it.
starts to be described here, right? Um
It's important to add that this game is being played as these three travelers are going into the room. This game's already happening. So it's like,
Yeah. But they
yeah,
but they start a new game to
once
allow these travelers in.
yeah, okay. Um,
Yeah. So the cowboy wanted to become the partner of Johnny. So and they asked the Swede if he would play with the Easterner because the older fella has decided he's done. He's had enough games.
yeah.
Um,
So now it's Scully, it's the son, Scully's son.
the
I think
Scully's son.
Scully's the guy who owns the hotel. His son is playing, and now he's teaming with the cowboy,
Hmm.
and then they want the
And
sweet,
they want the Easterner and the Swede to team up.
yeah,
But the Swede he's not like a immediately I'm in it. He starts asking questions. Um he he wants to know what the game is. He says, he hadn't played it, but maybe he has. I don't know. But he ends up coming over to the table, although it says he uh as if he was to be assaulted. So he's on edge already with these guys.
yeah.
Um
Cautious man, very cautious.
yeah. But they're finally all sitting there and they're starting to play. Um and the Swede like looks from everybody's faces and then laughs shrilly. And everyone's like, what is up with him? What's he
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
It was a strange laugh though. Like it's not like he just laughed loudly or in a funny manner. Like he has this strange laugh. Um, but then there's a bit of silence and they're like, okay, let's just play.
Mm.
Um, then we find out that the cowboy has a habit of whacking the board when he's playing. So
Again,
he gets called the board whacker.
in a way, yeah, board whacker. It's like someone just he just hits the table. He probably just it's just it's a work. It's a way. It's like
Yeah.
to intimidate people. So
Hmm.
he hits the table, and they're like, the Eastern just kind of jumps back, makes it more on edge. Um,
Yeah.
but the Swede is doing his. He's just an oddball. He kind of doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, he
Watch it.
definitely seems odd man out of the three travelers.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah. Um but yeah, they're playing. They're not really thinking about the Swede being weird. They're just keeping their heads down and in the game. And then there's a pause in the game, like a lull, and the Swede addresses Johnny. Um and he says, I suppose there have been many good men killed in this room, which is such an odd thing to say.
yeah, yeah. Was that page 6 or the end of the page
7.
7? Yeah, yeah. I was trying to find. I was like, I love that. Um, I love that line. It's such a weird. Like he didn't say anything during the whole time. He's kind of looking at people and just
Mm-hmm.
observing it, and all of a sudden he says that like there's many a good many men killed in this room. I suppose there have been a many good men killed in this room. They just looked at him like,
Yeah.
what the hell did you just say? They actually said that. Hey,
Yeah,
what
Johnny even
and what in the hell are
says,
you talking about? Said Johnny.
yep.
And he then sweet
Um,
laughs. Like he laughs
yeah, he
oddly.
laughs. But it's a very weird thing to ask.
This state.
Like,
Like what do you mean? Like
yeah.
it's a loaded kind of response. Not a response, but thing to
Hmm.
say. Like are you
Yeah.
threatening people? When you say like
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of people who got killed in this room. I was like,
Yeah.
are you
Well,
planning to kill somebody?
DJ Recovery Rate says, odd thing to say for such a low stakes game happening. High stakes would be different, I think. And that's absolutely true. It's not, if there was like real high level poker game going on in here, maybe then there would be a little cause for that sort of chat, but like it just comes from nowhere.
If I was somewhere and if I was at a bar and someone's a random
Mm-hmm.
person sits next to me and they go, "Well, looks like this is the kind of place where a lot of people get robbed, huh?" I'd be like, "What?" I would look at that dude,
Yeah. Is he
and
gonna
I'm
rob
like, "Are you
me?
gonna?
Is
Are
that
you?
was he like?
What are you implying? Do you want to make something like that happen here? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is you just cause like a very funny thing that's to bring up. There's like a underlining threat to that. I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because the Swede says, "Oh, you know what I mean, all right," after Johnny asks him. Um, but Johnny's like, "No, I don't actually."
They're as paranoid as me.
Um,
Like, what do you mean?
yeah, exactly. Um, and he's like, "But what are you driving at? Why are you saying this? Where's this coming from?" Um, but the Swede just winks at him. Uh, you know, gets back to the board, but he says, "Oh, maybe you think I have been to nowheres. Maybe you think I'm a tenderfoot." So, but he's clearly not. If he is Swedish, then he's come from another country.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by tenderfoot? Like, what is he saying? Like,
So, tenderfoot, you're a tenderfoot if you haven't been walking around for a long time. You
it's
know,
like,
your
oh,
feet
you,
haven't hardened up. So, a tenderfoot would be someone inexperienced, someone just starting out. Um, say you're taking up running and it's your first week and you are running and you see somebody who has been running for 3 years, they could look at you and say, "Oh, you're a tenderfoot."
okay, all right.
It's someone inexperienced and
But inexperienced in what?
young
Like, is he just saying
usually.
that? Like, oh, you think I say those things to say them? Like, I've been around the block, kind of
Yeah,
response.
or maybe just you're just thinking this person isn't they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
Essentially, they
yeah. I've been.
haven't been around
I'm.
enough to know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I see. I see.
Um, but the when this guy he's essentially the Swede is he's kind of like egging them on, but he's not really actively doing anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Johnny's got a bit of a temper on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Which I think is fear, a little bit of fear.
mhm.
Like, what are you up to? You're so cryptic with with that statement.
Yeah.
You're making me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Um, but so during the time that they're talking, um, he ends up saying, "Oh, hold on. I want to make sure because all the dialogue is like within the paragraph, so it's hard to see." But he's like the cowboy who had been steadily gazing at the Swede then spoke. "What's wrong with you, mister?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think even the Easterner like is kind of questioning him. And that causes the Swede to have like another kind of turn and he says, "You're all out to get me."
Yeah. Like it's Daisy Recovery Race. Sweet is talking like he's up to on the take, but no one else there knows what that take is. Yeah. Yeah. Like he is almost
Yeah.
he says this very broad, somewhat um like aggressive, passive aggressive statement, and then
Mhm.
it's like people respond to it, and then he kind of plays the victim, like, oh, like
Yeah.
you're all out to get me. He gets paranoid. So
Yeah.
we're like, it's I don't know, it's just a weird, like you made this happen.
Yeah.
You said something that's made us all uncomfortable, and then now you're thinking that now you made
Now
like
you're
you're
backpedaling.
gaslighting us and saying that, oh no, you
Mhm.
guys are out to get me. I don't know. I
Mm.
how do you well, if you don't say things like that, maybe the people wouldn't be like that around you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Um, but he keeps going on about stuff, but they kind of come to like an altercation when he's saying, "I don't want to fight."
Yeah,
Um,
he just jumps right into a fight. Like I don't want to fight. Like he escalates his own situation.
mhm.
I don't want to fight. Like that's the first thing that comes. Like he's physical violence.
Yeah, like nobody was fighting
Nobody
you. You
even
just came out
mentioned.
of nowhere with this stuff. Like we were just playing a game, having a good time, and you start going on about men being killed in this room. So, yeah, it's just as Itchy said to me when we talked about doing this story, he's like, it just keeps escalating
Yeah, for no reason. This.
for no reason. But so about this time, well, no, so the Swede then starts saying that I suppose I'm gonna be killed before I can leave this house.
Wow.
And they're like, what? Like this went from like nobody having a problem to you saying that there's a problem
This
to
you're gonna.
now,
You can't leave this house to like you're gonna be dead. Like someone's gonna drag you.
yeah.
Like someone's gonna kill me tonight. Like
Hmm.
masochistic. I don't know.
I have no idea. This doesn't. I don't. It just.
This
It
this
doesn't make any sense to
this.
me.
I always thought this direct dialogue and their reactions make
Hmm.
this story. It's an old story, but it makes it seem so modern. This exchange,
Mm-hmm.
the way they are with it,
Yeah.
they're like, "What are you doing?" Like I could. It's very relevant to me. Like someone saying something
Hmm.
off-putting somewhere. Like I think that
Yeah.
everybody in this room could be somewhere and remember someone saying something casually off-putting, and you're like, okay, let's unpack this. What did you mean?
Hmm.
I don't like the like. What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm not trying to say anything. But what are you trying to kill me?
Yeah. Well, and this is it. He gets physical. Um, because the cowboy's like, who? Because he was saying, I don't want to fight. The Swede was saying, I don't want to fight, and the cowboy's like, well, who the hell thought you did? Like they're really genuinely confused. These
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
is happening? And I highlighted the next paragraph and said, loses his mind, because that is like the Swede just goes off on one. Then that's when he's like, his hands were protecting the front of his chest, but he was making an obvious struggle to control his fright. And that's when he says that he's going to be killed before he can leave the house. Um, and there's even like in his eyes was the dying swan look. Like this guy's really just like he went completely off the rails now.
yeah.
And that's the time when Scully walks into the room.
This is the guy who owns the hotel. He's like, what the hell's going on
Hmm.
here? What's this
And he's like,
commotion?
"What's going on?" And the Swede is like, "These men are gonna kill me." Kill you? Like he's like, "What? That's not. What the hell are you talking about?" And then he's not getting like a response out of the Swede, so he says to Johnny, he's like, "What is this? What's going on?" Um,
His son, yeah.
yeah, his son. And Johnny's like, "I don't have a clue. Like, I don't know." Um,
He goes. He says
and
it again. He
that's
goes
just,
angry. He says this guy came in the room. We were playing cards, hanging out.
mhm,
All of a sudden, he says, "This dude says a good many men have been killed in this room, or something like that."
mhm,
Then he says
yeah,
he's going to be killed in here, and I don't know what ails
yeah,
him. He's crazy.
yeah.
Uh, and then I
But
think then Scully
Scully comes
confronts him like,
in
"Kill you? What do you?"
trying, yeah,
Yeah,
trying to keep the peace to a certain extent, but also trying to figure out what happened.
yeah.
And
Oh, he blames his son. That's the funniest part. Like
yeah,
he's like, he looks at his son and was like, "You been troubling this guy? You been fucking with this dude? Tell me." And his son's like, "No, no, we were just hanging out, and this guy says all this."
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just,
the son is like,
yeah.
but the thing that gets me about this is that the dad is like almost unwilling to believe him. He's like, no, something must have happened. There's no
Well,
way he got like this without
I
something
think the
happening.
son is a little bit of a hothead, and maybe
Mm.
like it's
And the dad
implied.
knows this, so
God
he's
knows
like,
this, and he's going.
you did something.
I felt that before.
Mm.
Um,
But the Swede then, like, once this like is becomes a like a head-to-head discussion, he's like, "Do you know what? I'll leave. It's fine. I'm going. I'll pack my things and I'll go."
yeah,
And
and
Mr.
it's
Scully's like, "Go ahead."
oh no, it's I think it's cool because he shifts from like he the owner Scully, he shifts from trying to figure out what's going on to being like a business old owner because
Mm-hmm.
he he knows that somebody like he has a business here. He cares about
Mm-hmm.
it, and someone leaving is you know I didn't have the internet back then or anything, but he didn't want someone saying that I got kicked out of this hotel, the blue hotel, um,
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't like me there and don't go there. He didn't want to have that bad.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want bad publicity for his place, so he like the fact that that this the Swede is trying is like kind of threatening to or like he's saying he left. He's like I don't want this to happen either because it's bad for business.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
go out around here and tell people not to stay here or say that you had a bad experience and no one's gonna want to come
Yeah.
and so it's like it's just cool to see that shift.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, go on.
Um. Yeah. So Scully's like, "No, you can't. You can't leave." You know, he's being friendly and kind to this guy, but he's also like, "You can't go back out there. You know, it's snowing. Um, you know, it's not safe to go back
Yeah.
out there." Um, but Mr. Or the Swede is like he kind of lets himself be ushered back out of this side room that they're in.
Hmm.
Um, and he absolutely is coming with emotional baggage, whatever is going on with him. Um, but Scully wants to reintroduce him into the group after pulling him aside. Because I think they went up to the Swede's room, maybe, and that's what he was like packing up his stuff and asking how much he owed Scully because he was gonna leave.
And Scully was like, "No, no, no, come over here to this room. Let's have a talk. Let's work this
Oh
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
And
don't
he
want.
offers him a whiskey.
Ooh, yeah. This is where things get funky. So Scully offers him some whiskey. It's like, hey, just have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just work this out. It's just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a tiff. It's there's no reason to get all wild here. It's bad
Mm-hmm.
if you leave. It's bad for me. I worry about you being going out to this weather. You could die. It's just funny because he's saying the guy's the Swede is saying he'll die in the house. So um
Mm-hmm.
so let's have some drinks, relax, talk about this, and maybe we
Mm-hmm.
could sort this out.
Yeah.
And the Swede is like okay. Um
Yeah. But so they go back to well, they drink alone together first.
yeah
Um,
and
but
yeah
we go do we go back to the other guys?
yeah he's drinking with the we don't know how much he's drinking, but he's drinking with
Mm-hmm.
Scully. Um, uh,
Mm.
I'm not sure what page is that. Is that 8?
Um,
No, 9.
no, I think it's 9. No, it's actually in chapter 3, so it would have been on 10.
Yeah,
Because, you know, they go upstairs and the Swede is like packing up his stuff.
yeah.
And Scully's like,
Okay, I see. I see. I see.
Don't
Yeah,
go
yeah,
out in the night, you know.
yeah. Don't do this. So
And
yeah,
and you know, he's still trying to talk him down
it's
and
Scully pulls out like he goes. He kind of fun. He goes. I. He goes to him like kind of sly. I got this. I got this thing hidden here. I don't. I you know I
mhm.
have to hide it because my son. I don't want my son's hands on
Yeah.
it. But you know I. This is some good stuff. Referring to a
Mhm.
drink, and he pulls the drink out. It's like um what kind of a drink is it? Is it whiskey?
Yeah, it's whiskey.
Whiskey. It's like you're gonna try this, okay. Um,
But the Swede is then like, you're gonna try and poison me.
yeah, like he's paranoid, and the guy's just and it's like no, relax, relax, let's have a drink.
Yeah.
And then he has a few, and this Swede is like it turns into a he has a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde effect.
He just keeps escalating.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
time. Every encounter he
They're drinking, and
escalates.
then I think they were had cups at first, and then the Swede was taking the bottle,
Mm.
the bottle itself, and drinking from the bottle. And and he kept drinking, and the Swede laughed wildly. He grabbed the bottle, put it to his mouth, and as his lips curled absurdly around the opening, and his throat
Yeah.
worked, he kept his glance burning with hatred upon the old man's face. So he's
Hmm.
like
Well, because
looking, yeah,
he believe you know he's coming in thinking that this guy's trying to poison him now,
yeah.
like because he's so paranoid. This guy's so paranoid. Um, but you know
That's when it switches scene.
after
That's what. So they're up there. He's. You know, we were getting the impression that they're having a go. They're this
yeah
drinking,
they're upstairs drinking now, the
and
two of them
yeah, and then
together,
the
and we
three
go back
go
downstairs.
back downstairs. They're kind of like going like, who the hell was that? Like, what a weird dude. He goes, that's the
Yeah,
dangest
like man,
sweet I
that
ever
guy is
seen.
crazy. Yeah.
And the
Um.
cowboy has a lot to say. He's like, hey, he ain't no Swede, you know. And Johnny's like, what is he then?
Yeah.
Uh, he's some kind of Dutchman. I don't know. It's just the cowboy has all these
Yeah.
like racist, like doesn't I don't know. This has these. He kind of talks a big game, but he's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they ask him, you know, Johnny's like, but he says he's a Swede. So how is he a Dutchman you know, it's not like they just named him the Swede. He calls himself the Swede. Um, but
They
he
actually
asks
the Easterner, yeah,
the Easterner who's Mr. Blanc.
yeah,
And he's like, "Oh, I don't know." Like it's almost like he's like, "Don't bring me into this. I have no
yeah.
idea."
But he's
Um,
very perceptive too. He's like, well, you know, he's frightened. He's this, you know,
yeah.
that's his take on it. This guy is
Yeah.
acting absurdly because he's frightened. So when
Yeah.
people are frightened, they act different.
Mhm.
And that's his whole that's his. I feel
Um
like that's what all he
but
wants
nobody
to.
knows what
Yeah.
he's frightened of.
No. That's what makes it unnerving. Um,
But Johnny's now starting to think it's kind of amusing. Like, oh, he's a real weird guy, but you know, it's kind of funny how he's behaving. Um,
yeah,
and there's a lot of, you know, they keep talking about it, and then Scully comes back down with the Swede in tow.
yeah,
Um,
and they're blitzed.
yeah,
Well, at least the Swede
yeah,
is.
yeah. But you know, he asked the guys to shove along because it's cold, right? There's a blizzard happening outside, so they're all kind of huddled around this stove in the kitchen. So you know, Scully and the Swede come back, and he's like, "Shove over, guys! Like we're gonna sit down too." And Johnny's like, he's a little bit of back talk.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, you guys go sit on the other side. Like, there's plenty of room. And, his dad gets mad and he's like, do you think we want to sit in the draft? So there's clearly like back and forth between the father and Johnny that's not like the smoothest relationship as well.
Yeah, you're getting a taste of their relationship.
Hmm.
Um, but the Swede is a little more forward. I mean, not that he wasn't before, but
Yeah, no, now he,
he
he
got this.
wants a drink of water, so he goes and gets it.
Yeah.
Before he was very like passive in his interactions
A little
with
like
things.
yeah, a little timid, but like
Yeah.
paranoid. Now he's a tougher.
Yeah, now he's more confident seeming, but
Yeah,
he's still paranoid. Like he's
but
still,
a horrible combination.
yeah, confident and
Confident and
paranoid.
paranoid. Jesus Christ. No, thank you.
Um but the Scully's still like standing by the fact that he runs a hotel
Yeah, yeah. Like
and
I don't want
his
someone.
guests are,
He wants everyone to be happy. That's why he got him
yeah.
drunk. That's why he got the sweet junk because he wants everyone to be happy. He
Hmm.
said, I could handle this. I'll rectify the situation. I got a ten. One of my customers wants to leave. I'll just.
Yeah.
I gave him my best whiskey. Put his head at ease. We'll be fine. Another
Yeah.
successful day as proprietor.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he's and it was very at the end of that end of the patient scene. He's very prideful of that. He wants to
Hmm.
make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah. And
Um,
he says, um he says that, he recognizes that he's the only place in town.
yeah, and it does that can go against you too. He's I
Hmm.
mean there was something too about he's all for innovation and that this is kind of a town that's just military based or but
Hmm.
eventually there's gonna be businesses here and it's gonna be a booming city and I'm gonna be the
Hmm.
place here and I'm gonna be at the forefront of this evolution. I'm gonna be at the forefront of all this innovation, and it's like he's willing to do anything to make sure people are happy, which I could understand. But I think he really made a mistake feeding this guy whiskey because
Yeah.
they have dinner later, and this is when
Hmm.
things start to escalate a little bit more. Um, yeah, he's just nuts. It said the description. He sometimes seemed on the point of bursting to write a song,
Yeah.
and all his madness, he was encouraged by old Scully. So like Scully's thinking like, yeah, like he's having a good time, and he's being loud. But
Hmm.
he's like, if he's loud, he's happy, and I got him drunk, and I'm gonna make sure he has a good experience.
Yeah.
The Eastern, everybody else is a little bit the surprise. Like the
Hmm.
Easterner sits
Hmm.
back. He's like, this is getting a little weirder. The cowboy is just looking at him act this way. They're all just
Yeah.
staring at him. Um, he dominated the meal. He was talking
Hmm.
hard to everyone, into staring people in the face.
Yeah.
Uh, he was loud. Um, he was
Hmm.
eating he was eating in a violent way, like sticking his food like violently into the meat and then putting it into his mouth, and it
Hmm.
was all like this. It's like this show or something. Like it was
Hmm.
like he just seemed like someone that is you don't know if this person is going to blow up, and they're just kind of okay. What do we do next? It's probably making them
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And you think it's funny too. Is like Stress Presso said, like this guy read too many Wild West books. Yeah, he's kind of like a
Hmm.
little. He's like he has a lot to say when he's not there, but then this guy's acting a fool, and he's now the cowboy's quiet. He's not as vocal, and
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, he just down. He talks a lot of shit when he's gone, but then when it's happening, he's all quiet. So I think false
Hmm.
bravado. Um,
I'm noted here because um the Swede is now like good pals with Scully in
yeah,
his mind, right? And he
yeah,
he like gives him a bash on the shoulder and
yeah,
says, "Well, old boy, that was a good square meal." And um Johnny thinks, "Oh, good. He's hit my dad on his
bad shoulder.
sore shoulder. So now he's gonna snap and he's gonna get rid of this guy because Johnny really does not like the Swede. He of all of them is like
Wants like
really against him.
yeah, because well, first of all, his father's blaming him for lying, but it was like the Swede is the one who made this cause this tension, and the father's like, oh, it must have been you. So I could see that I would if a parent of mine, like was telling me, oh, it's your fault, you're doing this. I was like, no, really, I know I do crazy things, but I'm not this. I have no responsibility in this mess. And
Yeah, it
so
wasn't
like
me this time. I didn't do it.
yeah, yeah, but like that little moment because he goes, oh, he hit my dad's shoulder. Now my dad's gonna. I know that hurt, and now he's gonna
Yeah,
say
now it's
something.
gonna
Yeah,
he's gonna say something.
and Scully, like he
But
did, he responded. He scowled. He didn't.
mhm,
He was just like,
mhm,
ugh. And then the Swede was like, let's play another game. Let's play another game of
mhm.
high five. Uh, and he's kind of provoking these guys to play cards after
Mhm.
food. And
And the Swede, it says here he turned his wolfish glare.
at
So he's
everyone,
starting
almost
to get like aggressive.
oh, I'm not asking you to play. You're playing.
Hmm.
And then
It says
the Eastern the
in his
cowboy.
tone there was always a great threat.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's like he's getting aggressive. He's threatening. And they're like, well, the cowboy and the Eastern are like, we could play
But
if you want.
they're apprehensive too. The, I think
Hmm.
they're on guard again, more so.
Hmm.
Um, so in this game, the Eastern
The
and
Easterner and the
The
Swede are
Swede
still
still
partners.
yeah, and then the Scully son,
Johnny and
Johnny and the
Yeah,
cowboy.
Johnny and
So
Cowboy are
same
partners.
same
Same
setup,
part. Yeah,
same
same
setup.
teams.
Yeah,
But this time the Cowboy's more subdued
yeah,
because it says he's not a board whacker this time.
yeah. He's a little bit on edge, which I think is like a cosplay cowboy. He's tough, but
Hmm.
when it comes down to it, he thinks he's tough. Um,
And is it this the old priest comes in now? Or
um,
no, no, no,
no,
no.
no.
He put Scully put on glasses and he looks like an old priest. That's what it is.
Yeah, so it's like almost
Um,
there's a lot of symbolism here. Like they said that the train comes and it's like the gust of wind comes through the door and it kind of makes people even more
mhm.
uncomfortable. So it's like all these like personifications and the scene is like setting up this tension more. Like they're having a
Yeah.
game, but now it's not. The Swede has made it more tense and kind of force everyone to
Yeah.
play. Uh,
And the Swede is now the one doing the board whacking.
Yeah, yeah, he's the one doing it. It's almost like he was. It's like the environment is like they're playing like Russian roulette or something. I don't know. It's very intense.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just, so okay, so
And this
this
is so it escalates again
yeah,
because the Swede suddenly calls out, "You are cheating," about Johnny.
Yeah, like
And
confronts him, says you're cheating, you're cheating.
yeah, and Johnny can't take this. Like it may be a low stakes game, but nobody should be accusing him of cheating.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
He um he acts really offended.
Well, he
Um
is offended. He's offended.
yeah,
Uh,
he is offended. And it's it kind of like it's about to be like an all and out brawl.
yeah,
But Scully returns. Um, and by Scully returning, the cowboy has a chance to act and pushes the Swede back. Um, which doesn't make him happy that he's been shoved.
yeah.
Um, and they kind of get into like a little bit of a shoving match. Um, but Johnny is like ready to go. He's ready to just
Fight this guy.
beat the crap out of the Swede. Um, so you've got like Scully trying, the Easterner and Scully trying to hold back Johnny, and the cowboy trying to hold back the Swede. Um, the board's been overturned for the game.
Yeah, yeah,
The cards are scattered all over the floor. It's just it's a full on mess now. Um, and Scully starts yelling at Johnny to stop. He's just like, "Stop now! Stop! I say, stop now!"
yeah,
And Johnny kind of comes out of it a little bit and he says, "Well, he says I cheated. He says I cheated. I won't allow no man to say I cheated."
yeah,
Um, and the cowboy was telling the Swede, quit, stop it, quit this nonsense. He's trying to calm down the Swede. You've got the Easterner and Scully trying to calm down Johnny. Um, but then everything stops for a minute. Um,
and the Scully has to kind of be the referee or like to figure out how,
yeah.
like what is happening. You have someone accusing somebody else of cheating. This is
Hmm.
it's like whatever's going to happen now has to happen outside.
Yeah.
This is I mean, I'm not sure this this is a situation. I'm not sure if that's the law of the land, but if someone's accusing you of cheating in this kind of town, it means
Hmm.
that you go outside and fight, and whoever
Yeah.
wins is the victor, or who
Yeah.
is the one. If you're accusing the one
They
guy of
they're
cheating,
they've been yeah, they've been
is
whoever wins
handled
the
is
fight
yeah.
is yeah.
Like whoever wins
Um
the fight, we move on, but someone has to fight here. Like we won't. It's almost like we
mhm.
fight and we don't talk about it again. Who if someone cheated that didn't cheat, the one who won gets their peace of mind, and the one who lost has to live in embarrassment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um and then like Johnny's just he's not ready to let this go. He essentially comes down to not a duel, but like they're going to fight it out. They're going to properly fight it out.
yeah.
Um
And I think that's also important to know that maybe it's not mentioned. Um, it's not as conspicuous in the narrative, but I believe that Scully realized he made a grave error. Not but the fact that he gave this guy some
yeah.
whiskey. This had gone. He thought that he was to remedy the situation, and I think at that point he goes, "Well, man, I've opened this up now. Now they're gonna be fighting here, or okay." And he's like, "Screw it, let them fight. We're gonna bring him outside." And this is a blizzard
Yeah.
outside, so they kind
Winter.
of
Full
winter,
on winter.
full on winter, yeah. So they go outdoors. Everyone's freaked
Mhm.
out. The Easterner was nervous. They all put on coats. Um,
Yep.
and
because it's
Scully is like,
cold out.
yeah, and Scully's like, okay, we'll go. Let's do this. Let's do this. My son against the
Yeah, and
Swede.
at the moment it's not snowing, but there's the illusion of it snowing because the wind is blowing snow up from the ground and it's like whirling around.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's kind of like they're in a snow globe. That's what it made me think of.
yeah. What they're
Because when you
fighting.
shake a snow globe, it's not like the snow is all falling from above. It's just kind of swirling around within
Yeah,
the snow globe.
I'm sure those wind patterns are putting it everywhere. I mean, it's like, this is open. This is open. There's not a lot of stuff going on in this town. Probably like not a lot of trees breaking things up.
Um, yeah, and the Swede is he's still carrying on, still like shouting
Yeah,
and blaming everyone and saying, you're all against me.
yeah. Again, so that
I've got,
weird, that very horrible cocktail of confidence and paranoia.
yeah, yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah,
It's a real bad combination.
yeah.
Um,
I don't want to be
but
around someone like that.
no, no. So, they set it all up to go. Johnny's gonna fight the Swede. Scully says now, and they go for it.
Yeah,
And the thing is, the Swede gets the upper hand. He
starts whipping his
he
ass.
kind of yeah, he starts whipping his ass. And like Scully, who's kind of like been officiating this fight, um, and like he's been kind of standing back, and the cowboy and the Easterner, they've been watching, but they
Yeah,
haven't been
like they're like tallying up
really.
points. They're like, okay, well, you got him this round,
Yeah.
but it seems that the Swede is, if it was a boxing match, he's winning. He's getting more points for each round.
Yeah. He's also, I get the impression, and maybe this is just something I made up in my head, like as I'm reading, but I feel like Johnny's maybe young.
Mm,
He's maybe 17.
yeah,
He's not like he's full grown, but he's not filled out yet. So he
yeah,
might be kind of like scraggly or scrawny. And the Swede is like,
a man.
in my mind, as I was reading this, he's like a barrel of a man.
Yeah,
And he he lays Johnny out.
yeah, and there's also
Um,
that's like, it's throughout the story we see that Scully and his son don't have like the best relationship at times, but they care about each
no.
other. And Scully, I think
Yeah.
Scully feels bad. He's like, my son is getting his ass handed to
Mhm.
him,
Mhm. Mhm.
and partly because I got this guy drunk, and he knows he's losing. Uh,
Mhm.
and then I think that it's up like if anyone's gonna throw in the towel, it's gonna be Scully for his son.
Yeah, and he says, wait a second," and pauses the fight.
Yeah,
And he goes to talk to Johnny, and he's like, "Can you go on with it?"
yeah,
But it says he looked anxiously down into the bloody, pulpy face of his son. So he's got genuine concern for his son.
yeah,
Whatever their, you know, interaction before, him accusing his son of doing something when his son hadn't done anything, like now that his son's getting beat up, he has genuine concern for him and, wants to make sure he's okay. Um, but Johnny foolishly is like, "Yep, I can keep going. I
yeah.
got this."
It's like, and then the father, I feel reluctantly says, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's go." And
Yeah.
the two, they leap forward and crash together like bullocks. Uh,
Yeah.
Cushion sound of blows. I mean, they were fighting. It's just, I mean, they weren't. I wouldn't say it
This
was
isn't a light fight. This
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
taps. They're
But they're
like
still. I
really
mean,
going for
they're.
it.
He's. I mean, the sun is inflicting damage, but it's not as much as. I mean, he's getting this. The Swede is getting hit, but
Yeah.
I think both of them are getting pummeled by each other.
Yeah.
And then,
Um, Johnny goes down again.
yeah,
And then they're like, "He's whipped. Stop beating on him. You've won." Um, but the Swede has to leave. He may have won this battle, but they're not letting him stick around.
Yeah. They're like, well, you won. If you feel like this is, if your accusation has validity, then
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, it's a peace of mind. You got it by
Yeah.
fighting my
So,
son. Now
you
let's
won. Now
let's
get out.
yeah, like we're not going to even entertain or even consider you coming back to the house because, and I think the
Yeah.
Swede knew that too.
Mm.
So he's
Yeah.
like, so I mean, I'm not sure if
Didn't it? I think it said he came down with his stuff as well
yeah,
to
he came
go
back
out to this
down, but
fight.
he's
So.
also looking rough.
Mm.
He looks like a guy who got in a fight, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
snowing, which is
He's not unscathed. He
no.
definitely took his own share of the hits.
Yeah.
Um. But yeah. So and it's funny. There's like the cowboy wishes that he could have fought him. Um.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And Scully's like, no, 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 no. That's not gonna help anything. Um. So the Swede again asks. He'd asked earlier. He's like, how much do I owe you? Because he's wanting to pay his bill. Um, and Scully's just like he's not interested now.
Let's get out. And kind of like,
And he says, you don't owe me nothing."
mm.
But the Swede says, "I guess you're right. I guess if it was any way at all, you'd owe me something. That's what I'd guess." Like
Yeah.
this guy, the
You,
balls on this
you should be
guy. Like,
paying me. Like,
yeah, oh man, it just
it's weird. Like he has these moments where I feel like he's reserved. He's this decorum. Like I have to pay my balance now. I would like to pay my rent or pay my time here.
yeah.
It's the least I can do. And then he pays and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna whip everyone's ass." Like he's like he
Yeah,
goes
yeah, yeah, yeah.
one like he goes from just being behaved to like just an animal in one breath.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
he's like, okay, so they're all like a little bit shaken by him because they're like, okay, he leaves with all this stuff. Imagine like make build this scene. This guy, I'm
Mhm.
burly kind of Swede dude, is going in the middle of a storm. He's bleeding,
Mhm.
looking rough with all his stuff. He's
Mhm.
walking, and they all go back to the house, and they're like, is he gonna come back? Like I don't know if
Yeah.
he like what is he gonna do out there? Like it's like any other person would have a
Yeah.
hard time. He's walking right in the middle of the field,
Yeah.
marching out of here. Like they don't know if he
Yeah.
like I would have a hard time sleeping that night. It was like if he's gonna come back in the middle of the night and kill us all, or like
Yeah.
seek revenge, or they don't know what he's capable of because he's so unpredictable. But lucky for them, he just goes into town.
Yeah, and he
So
finds a pub.
he finds a pub. That's very natural for him to go, and he finds a bar that's open, and he walks in this bar, and I'm
Yep,
sure
and
if
he
this,
gets some more whiskey.
I guess he sits down, and they all like the whole bar is a little bit perturbed by his
Yeah, because these
presence.
guys at the bar, they're regulars.
Regulars
They're
and
there all the
and
time,
this like foreign dude walks
and they
in
don't know who this guy is.
bleeding like a pig and
Hmm.
all bandaged up. And he what does he say to the guy? He says to the bartender,
He
uh,
says, "Give me some whiskey, will you?"
yeah, give me some whiskey.
But he says it's been a pretty bad night. Um, you know, and he says that it was a bad night, but
The
then
other
he
guy got
says,
the
"Oh,
other
but it was
guy.
good enough for me."
Yeah,
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 he essentially did. You should see the other guy.
yeah, yeah. And the bartender's he's under. This is his world. He knows. He knows. I think he feels people out. That's his job.
Hmm.
But he's serving him drinks, but also kind of keeping an eye on him. Because this guy, who is this person?
Hmm.
This random person comes in here looking like he killed a man. Now he's gonna come here and demands whiskey. Should I cut him off?
Yeah,
Should I? If I do cut him off, he's gonna come back at me. He's gonna mess with any of the
yeah,
patrons, my regulars. There's a lot of stuff going on.
yeah, yeah.
What
Um,
page are you on, by the way? I just want to make sure we're in the.
between 27 and
Okay.
28.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So like, so yeah, he brags a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
that he inflicted damage, and he's drinking. He's getting loud,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants
Well, and
more
there's a
whiskey.
there's a table with some um men at it.
Regular guys, yeah.
And yeah, and the Swede says that he was in a fight and he thumped the soul out of a man down at Scully's hotel. So the four men at the table who hadn't really been paying attention to him, all of a sudden
The ears
their
perk up.
interest is piqued.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of them says, "Who was it?" And the Swede is like, "Johnny Scully, son of the man who runs it. He will be pretty near dead for some weeks." Um, and the men, like, instantly something changes in this group of men.
Yeah, because it is a small town. They know these people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, and there's one. I think there was a couple guys who were like more not politician types, but they were, you know, maybe more like management guys. And
Yeah.
then the one of the guys is a gambler.
Yeah.
So it's the gambler that's like he popped the question, and he's the one who's very interested as soon as they say that it was Johnny. Oh, here it is. The group was of curious formation. Two were prominent local businessmen, and one was the district attorney, and one was a professional gambler. So it is a varied group of fellas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But I don't know how they feel.
but yeah,
I'm not
the
sure if they. I couldn't get the impression that they liked. They liked Johnny. It could have been something where they kind of smirked a little bit, like, oh, I would expect Johnny to get hit or to get himself in a
hmm
in a situation where he get his ass whipped. So it's like I'm not sure if it was
yeah,
concern, but they were also. I feel that they were playing the room. They were also saying, okay, we have to be careful of this guy.
hmm
Like if he's beating up local people and then bragging about it, and then
yeah,
this young kid is nearly dead. What is he going to do here?
hmm but I got the impression that it was more a case of he's other, and the Swede is other, and these guys are like, we're gonna look out for our own.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. But I feel like it was mixed. It was like, yeah, Johnny could be his. Johnny can be a little rambunctious, but he's
hmm
still Johnny, and he's still Scully's son, and we don't want to.
Yeah, and Scully still owns the Palace Hotel, which is our only hotel. So yeah, I think
Who's this dude?
I don't know. I get yeah. Who is this random Swede who just showed up?
Yeah, there's a lot of there's
Um,
also a little bit of maybe what's that word? Um, what is it? A fear of other races here.
oh, xenophobia.
Is a little xenophobia going on too,
hmm
because he's definitely like the other in this whole story.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah.
everybody
He
else is
is.
from
He's
different
that.
places, he's the other. And I'm like, it's weird. As I got like, I kind of at first I didn't like him, but then I started to like him. Like I was like,
hmm
not that I liked him, but I felt that I was like, he talked the talk and walked the walk. If he thought he was gonna someone's gonna die in that house, it was not gonna be him, and he was gonna make sure of that. He is
hmm
crazy, but he's also kind of tough. So I don't know. I'm not saying I don't think I admire him or anything, but it was just something where But like if I look at that person, I compare him to the cowboy who's this.
Mm,
I rather as crazy as the Swede is. I thought the cowboy is more of a phony. It's like it's a phony.
yeah,
I'd rather be a kind of paranoid, confident, crazy dude than to be a phony cowboy. So
yeah,
or to be a business person who will do anything to get business and then have it blow up in his face. I didn't think that. I wasn't a
yeah,
fan of Scully either. I go look at you,
yeah,
look what you did here. You made all this happen. So, anyways, there was at some point. When did the people on the table at the bar, like, didn't the Swede wanted? He was like, I want something to drink. I want someone to drink with. And I know people like this. Like, I'm getting drunk and
yeah,
I'm drunk already, and I want someone to drink with. And who's going to drink with me?
yeah.
Again with that
Well, and yeah, it's all
craziness in
about
his
him.
eye.
It's
It's
all
all
about
yeah.
him.
It's like I'm drunk. I'm getting drunk, and I want other people to drink with. No, I don't care. Like that's an order. I'm not asking you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's not asking, he's telling them what he
Yeah,
wants. Or what he demands, really.
yeah.
So and it gets to he grasps the gambler frenziedly at the throat and drags him from the chair.
What was
The
that?
other
Was that
men,
like a hard like a I would picturing like around the arm, like around the shoulders, like come on, but a little hard too. Like I'm not sure.
well, but
I'm not.
he
I
says
wouldn't do it. I
at the
wouldn't do. I wouldn't do this to. I
throat.
wouldn't do this to a woman. If it was like a dude,
No,
like
no.
like it was. It was. I would just grab my buddies. I'm like, get over here, and like grab him, kind of toyish or playfully, but tough around the. Like, come on, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm trying to figure out. Did he grab his throat, like in a mean way, or was he just
Yeah, it
play?
says he said it grabbed him by the throat. I don't know. It's really hard for me to figure that out actually. Because it says he grasped him frenziedly at the throat and was dragging him from the chair. So I think he kind of like went full on the
Mm,
Swede and was just like, no, that's it. You're going to join me. And he just like grabs the guy and pulls him up. Or, maybe for whatever reason, maybe because the person um, the Swede is just really hyped up now.
yeah.
So he doesn't even really realize that he's being so violent, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you just walked a long distance in the snow, bleeding, which I think are two things
Hmm.
they're horrible. I bleeding in the snow is probably the worst feeling I ever had in my life. It's like you're cold and you're hurt at the same time,
Hmm.
and it looks more.
Yeah.
Does the blood looks
Yeah.
more bloody? I don't know, like it's like the
Yeah,
blood.
no,
It's
it'll
like
be brighter against white
brighter
snow
against
or redder.
redder
Yeah.
against snow, and it's like oh. Um, yeah, so I don't know that I guess we could just we know what kind of grab that was based on the reaction of the men. So what was the reaction of the guy that he grabbed?
Um the other men sprang up
Yeah. Oh,
and
cool. Okay. So
the
this ain't this
barkeeper
that ain't
dashed
that.
around the bar.
Yeah. Okay. Now we just answered our question. That he grabbed him. He didn't. That wasn't like a
Uh,
playful thing. If these dudes got up the
no.
way they did and the bartender jumped up,
Hmm.
he was like, "You're drinking." It
It
was
was yeah,
forced.
it was aggressive
Yeah,
and
that was aggressive.
violent.
That was aggressive. Now I wasn't
Hmm.
sure at first because I guess there was a word in there they Crane
Hmm.
used that I wasn't sure. It sounded like
Oh,
playful.
it said he grasped. Is that kind of because
No,
grasping doesn't sound
there was a
nearly.
word that he used. It was like you remember the word that you had to look up. It was like that word,
Oh, jocosely.
jocosely. It was
I still don't know if that's how you say it, by the way.
what where's the grass part again? What page was that? I'm losing
So
my
it
spot.
says it's on page 30. He says, "What? You won't drink with me, you little dude? I'll make you then. I'll make you." The Swede had grasped the
Friends and
gambler
friends and
frenziedly at the
yeah,
throat.
yeah, friendly,
Yeah.
like quickly. Uh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Never mind. I was just reading it wrong. Yeah, he. This is violence. It was a threat.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, then it's picking up where I left off. It says there was a great tumult, and then was seen a long blade in the hand of the gambler. It
Yeah.
shot forward, and a human body. Um, hold on, and it
Another.
shot forward, and a human body, the citadel of virtue, wisdom, power, was pierced as easily as if it had been a melon. The Swede fell with a cry of supreme astonishment.
Yeah, this guy got sliced.
So, yeah, the prominent merchant and the district attorney must have at once tumbled out of the place backwards because they're like, nope, we didn't see a murder. We're
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they were like, oh my god. And I'm assuming okay,
Yeah.
this is a junction, right? This town is like a military town. There's not a lot of people here that are not locals.
Mm-hmm.
The people working there are like these businesses are the only ones there. It's a
Mm-hmm.
juncture. People stop and then go back on the train and go to where they're going. So uh, I don't think I don't think this town sees this type of violence on the regular. It didn't seem like this kind of
No,
place.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a rowdy town,
No, 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 no.
based on the descriptions of it
Plus,
up until
they
this
wanted. They
point.
were like even the Scully was saying, "I want this place to be a city. I want it to be like a
Mm-hmm.
metropolis. I want it to be a place where commerce happened." And so I'm assuming that you would expect this kind of behavior in the city, not here.
Mm-hmm.
So to have
Yeah.
the one to have a guy come into the bar half bloodied after post fight, asking for whiskey, then is attacking people in the bar. This is something that would be talked about for many years to come in this town.
Yeah.
Uh, so it said the corpse of the Swede alone in the saloon had its eyes fixed upon a dreadful legend that dwelt atop of the cash machine. This registers the amount of your purchase. So he was trying to
Yeah.
he's still trying to come out here. So okay, now we have this like denouement type thing in the last chapter
Mm-hmm.
here, and so months later, the cowboy, remember the cowboy, this one of the people in the house, he was frying pork
Mm-hmm.
over a little stove. This is outside, and in the
Yeah.
Easterner, like
But
have
he's at a ranch.
a ranch,
He's moved on
moved on. Yeah, this is months later,
from this town with the
and
hotel.
he
Yeah.
runs into the Easterner again. And he goes, and the Easterner says, "Well, remember that guy at the hotel, the Swede? Well, the chap that killed him got 3 years, and
Mm-hmm.
and the Easterner is almost like saying, yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of time, huh? Uh, and then the cowboy agrees, like this is that was a light sentence. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
3 years. That
yeah,
ain't much. But
it,
it says that there was a good deal of sympathy for the
this,
murderer,
yeah,
for the
yeah,
gambler.
yeah. It was a
Um,
defense, or but it was
yeah,
like, but then the Easterner comes out of nowhere and says like, hey, it is funny. If he hadn't said that Johnny was cheating, he'd be alive this minute. He was awful. He was an awful fool. Game played for fun too.
yeah.
I feel for the gambler.
But yeah, but he says, um, doesn't he say that
Yeah,
Johnny had been
yeah,
cheating?
that's what he missed. He goes. That's what I was trying to get at. He's pretty much saying the cowboy was like, well, he got what he deserved, and Easterner was like, what?
Yeah,
No, that's what he deserved. The kid was cheating, and you knew it
yeah,
too. You're in denial.
yeah,
Like this is like we're like pretty much said we're responsible here. We may like if we just we all agreed to I think we all saw that the son was cheating. Yet we let this escalate. Now a man is killed and another
Yeah.
man's in jail. It was all
Mm-hmm.
and the Easterners saying that this is somehow like this turn of events is our fault. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's kind of said like, uh, if the Easterner is like yelling at the cowboy, "You're a bigger jackass than the Swede
Mm.
by a million majority."
Yeah.
Johnny was cheating. You knew it too. You just didn't like. Pretty much saying like you just didn't like him, so you chose to
Yeah.
like turn a blind eye.
I really liked this line. It said, "We are all in it. This poor gambler isn't even a noun. He was a kind of adverb." I really liked that. Turning this man into a part of speech. It made me really
Because in
happy.
that, like, let me look at this. My brain's gonna it's jumping up and down for this one. He said,
Mm.
"We are all in it. This poor gambler isn't even a noun. He's a kind of an adverb." Okay, like, okay, this is cool. I didn't notice that either. Okay, so on a grammar standpoint, okay, you're told to like adverbs are kind of weak. Like when you when
Mm-hmm.
from writing a lot of writing classes and stuff like that and creative writing, you're like even like Stephen King, like don't the adverb is like
Mm-hmm.
a go for the nouns and go for the strong verbs, and the adverbs are gonna get in your way. Adverbs are like
Mm-hmm.
almost like the adverbs like a cowboy,
Yeah.
like the it's just fake. It's kind of it gets in the way of like good strong prose. So like that's the fact that
Mm-hmm.
he was saying that this guy wasn't even to get this kind of uh, reaction or to get this sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't even worth it to be involved in this whole thing. And you put him,
Yeah.
he's just an adverb. He's just a casualty. Like he's not even an important part
Yeah.
of speech. He's just he's
He's
a
not the
throw. He's
subject of this.
yeah. He's a like we've done this. We've done this thing to this town that that it can't be reversed, and it was all our fault because we couldn't be truthful and say that it was the son that was. It was almost like they all. It kind of shows that when you don't like somebody, you just because you don't like them doesn't mean that you need to. Just because someone's like an asshole doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that you have to turn the tide. Like turn like it. They're gonna eventually make it their own life hard. They're gonna put up their own roadblocks. Don't add more.
Yeah.
Like that's what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
this person. Like just let them go. They're gonna eventually get into another they go to a bar and get in a fight and do this. Like you didn't need to like because of your I feel like your judgment like it was almost like it's like seeing someone like if somebody was being like I knew those people steal. Oh, that they're all like that. And then something happens and even though you know that this person is steal, you blame it on them anyway because of your predisposed
Yeah.
your predisposition of this kind of people. I thought they didn't like the Swede. I think they were kind of racist. They just and they saw even though
Yeah.
they knew it was wrong. They it felt it fit their narrative in the best way. It validated the narrative even if it was wrong. It was like well yeah, he was cheating, but this guy's a crazy foreign dude, and we're not gonna. It might as well. He's just gonna be a bad person anyway. So I don't know. I kind of like
Yeah.
to for someone who was so the Easterner for someone being so
Yeah.
timid throughout the whole story is nice to see that he
Yeah.
was actually listening and he made the most scathing remark at the close of the story. Uh,
Yeah.
I think it was true. Uh,
Yeah. But the cowboy gets the last line. Because yeah, the Easterners saying that they're all responsible. And then the cowboy's like, "Well, I didn't do anything, did I?"
yeah, he doesn't. This the cowboy is he doesn't. There's no self awareness. He's
No.
at all. Like he talks a big game, and that's it. And he doesn't even. And then, but his actions speak like, oh, I don't want to. I hit the table when I'm mad, but then he didn't hit the table at the in the
Yeah.
because he's scared, but he won't admit
Yeah.
that because it's a
Mhm.
big work. It's like, oh, he's
Mhm.
Mr. Cowboy, big tough guy.
Yeah.
But then
Big tough cowboy
yeah,
man.
but his actions speak louder for him. Like why? Oh,
Mhm.
now all your little behavior, all your little things you do to be tough. Now you're not doing them because somebody else in the room is tougher, and you're
Yeah.
scared. You don't want to admit it now. But now the guy's dead. Now he could talk this big game. I don't know. It's just great. But that is the close of the
Yeah.
story. Like we
Mhm.
this, and I felt like reading about this makes me think of alcoholics, or makes me think
Mm.
of people who know themselves on certain spirits.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, I change. I feel like on rum. I get a little more to myself, introverted. Beer, I'm chill, pretty
Mm.
happy for the most part. I get in my head more with like the whiskeys and things like that. But I
Yeah.
feel like this
Oh,
guy.
tequila makes me crazy.
I don't
Tequila
know.
makes me
I never
crazy.
really. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get
I
that.
do you know what I
I
think it
feel like
is?
that.
I think it's because I start on like margaritas or something like that with tequila that's quite a sweet drink. And then by the end it's tequila shots. I think that's why.
Ugh.
I think it escalates.
Well, I mean that could be for everything, but it's like, but yeah, there's
Yeah.
different kinds of liquors do different things to different people. So, but
Mhm.
I I keep going back to that line at the beginning of the story when he's like, "Someone's gonna die in this house tonight." Like, so this, I bet this is gonna be
Mm.
many, and I feel that I don't know. I think people get. I don't know if he sensed that there was whiskey on the upstairs because his whole thing changed when he started drinking. Like
Mhm.
maybe he just
Yeah,
thought,
that's when the confidence came out.
yeah,
He was paranoid before, but as soon as he
like
had
it's
the whiskey, then he had confidence.
like almost like he felt it in the floorboards, or like he felt that there was
Mhm.
like is this kind of place has got to be alcohol around, and I'm gonna if I get
Mhm.
into it, then someone's gonna die in this house. That's the kind of thing I felt. And that, it was almost like he was scared of that. Like that was his paranoia. When
Mhm.
he came in, he goes,
Mhm.
"Oh, here we go. I'm just gonna." Yeah, is like he DC recovery. Like he brought it with him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he knew that eventually, like he felt it in the air that I'm gonna get into some probably something tonight. I'm gonna find some alcohol and things are gonna change. And it was like he and it, so yeah, Jittery recovery rate. What do you did you feel like? Do you feel like he felt his own death, or like maybe I don't know. Maybe it was
No,
like a
yeah, he said people have died there as in previously, but that wasn't true as far as we know. That's true. Nobody
no one
nobody
yeah
confirmed
no
that
one said that. Oh
deaths had
yeah,
happened
how
in
do you?
in
And
that
Scully
hotel.
was like, how the hell you know that? Yeah, there was a murder here about 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
like that. It was more. He was like he had a dog sense, like a he had a weird sense that he was like foreshadowing his own death, foreshadowing his
Yeah.
own. Like I mean, it wasn't at that house, but I think that he knew it was in the air. And I
Well,
do,
but if you follow what the Easterner said, it started in that house.
yeah.
And those men killed him, even if they weren't the ones to use the knife on him.
Yeah, yeah. Recovery
So,
rate. I think he wanted it. Trouble in general, be it death or other. Yeah, he was.
yeah.
He. It was like some sorcery going on. He knew it. The energy was there. He tapped in, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is it. This is how I'm gonna go." And some people have that, but it's great.
Yeah.
I just like the story, and then you could go crazy with with Crane's symbolism. This blue feeling, and then like the wind changing when when he gets drunker,
Yeah.
and then like it's almost the windows open and the eastern winds come through and make everyone
Mm-hmm.
uneasy and cold, and it's just I feel like the environment was it was I think maybe before he got like it was like I think in the beginning of the story they talk about the house being blue. He
Yeah.
Scully painted it in a way like I associate blue with tranquility and I don't know
Oh, yeah, it's a
pleasantness.
peaceful color.
Yeah, peaceful cover, and it was almost like Scully honestly wanted to have a place where people could come together, and he had high aspirations. But as soon as this
Mm-hmm.
guy came, he turned this into a different like it brought some blackness to it all, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, and that was maybe it didn't happen at that house in the house, but it eventually happened. The energy was there to
Mm-hmm.
kill that it was gonna be a death. We didn't know where,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
No,
oh,
that's true.
it's good. So I don't know. We have how you feeling there, Shiny? It's okay if it's a little late.
Uh, yeah, but it's up to you. I'm happy if we want to play play the like adaptation you found. That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's a little long. I know this is a little it's late over there in Scotland. Um,
Yeah, but I got nothing to do tomorrow, so.
well, if we found um this adaptation of the Blue Hotel, and if anybody's here,
Hmm.
if any of us, we won't. If you need to go other places, uh, we won't play. But if people are interested, we'll play it. It's okay. Where we end here is up to anybody. If would anybody be interested in watching this?
Silence. No.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's up to
it's okay if
just
you
let
could.
us know in chat.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's okay if you don't want
yeah.
to.
It's been a
That's
long day.
fine.
It's a long day. So, but we could also play it. Have it in Discord. It isn't. We could. It is. It's pretty long.
It's
It's
about what, like 55 minutes?
yeah. So it is a little bit long. So, um, but how about this? We'll put it into the
We'll put the link in the Discord.
yeah, we'll put the link in the Discord because it is we've been doing it for a long time. We're doing it. We're starting at a later hour. We might make this a
Mm.
normal thing. Um, we'll
Which would
see.
be fine
It should be
if I
fine.
don't have a.
Uh,
I am more tired tonight because I've been out.
yeah, yeah. So we're
So
gonna. I always like my friend over here has to. I'll make sure that she's good. So,
yeah.
but anyway, we'll put the link up. I just want to
Hmm.
appreciate. Thank you all for coming for this late episode of Ichikoto Book Club. Thanks to all people, new chatters and lurkers, and anybody else who came through. Thank you. We're gonna
Yeah,
have.
we're happy to have you all here.
Yeah, we're gonna next week will be a little break. But
Hmm.
we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programs. Probably yeah. I Teacher Recovery Rate said I like the later ones. Yeah, we were talking. We might do it later ones.
Yeah, we might do the later ones
It's a
because
long day for me because I have to I work at night. I have I meet with a client on the Friday evenings. It's my day off from my regular jobs. But it's like to get up and then to do a club and then to go straight. I'm running straight to work right after the episode ends. So in this way, we're not running anywhere. It's a little more relaxed.
yeah,
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
we don't have. Yeah, those
Yeah,
Tatty
yeah,
Bidet made
yeah.
our characters
And
for us.
we always want to shout out to our friend Taddy Bidet,
Hmm.
who did such a good
He's
job.
he's
And
elevated our characters
yeah,
for us.
we
It's really
wanted
good.
we if you want to see the old characters, they're painted in the back along with uh, Garfield,
Some Tatty art. Yeah.
Taddy. Yeah, we're gonna add some more there. But yeah, if you want to elevate this, we were using kind of stock photos, and now we have something that's a little more is us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you again, Taddy, and please, we gotta do. We gotta have a Taddy link, just so you could.
We do.
Yeah.
We need this. We're
I think
gonna make this
had one. I
command.
had one. I had one. Yeah, we do. We do one first because he does. No, these are not
No,
stock. No,
no,
these are
these aren't stock, but the ones in the
uh,
background on the wall were
yeah,
we
yeah.
just
So we had to update it for her own evolving.
evolving. That's right.
Yeah, but
But
thank.
also they're more lively too. That's what
Oh
I like
yes,
about
yeah,
them.
yeah. We Taddy did a great job in making uh, moving parts. It's like
Moving parts, yeah.
yeah, it was fun. We saw this like kind of it was a slow change. At first, Shiny didn't have eyes. I liked them closed.
No,
They look cool. And then they
I
open. I
just
was like,
sleep through.
I was like, oh wow, this is it was like it's weird with art. Like I had like when I saw these, it was like I had a reaction. I was like, God, I look like I'm not a kid anymore. I'm looking too tough over here. Like I don't look like I'm gonna like one of my uncles. And then I liked it. It was weird. It's like you get I think all good art shocks you at first, and then you
Mm.
get into it. And but yeah, it's like weird. Like there's this sensitivity with the voices. So like sometimes if I go, hey, my eyes
Your eyebrows go up.
go up. Yeah, so we want to have things like that, tiny things. Yeah, we have the digital recovery races. It's nice you have those memories in the back of the wall. Yeah, we wanted. It's important for us. Like we take a lot of time to do this stuff.
Yeah.
We it's important to it's a labor of love type of thing. So we always
Hmm.
want to have evidence of the changes. But on that
Yeah.
note, thank you again. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.